Source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, March 2nd. Your top story, what's the goal for a war with Iran?
I'm Jessica Tighe. A double shooting inside a hospital in downtown Milwaukee.
Mostly sunny today, high 39 degrees. Clouds on the increase tonight with lows around 30. It's 38 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, Israel's prime minister says the goal of the war with Iran is to remove an existential threat to Israel and allow the Iranian people to change the regime. CBS's Linda Gradstein is in Jerusalem.
Speaking at the site of an Iranian missile attack that killed 9 Israelis Sunday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the ongoing U.S.-Israeli campaign against Iran aims to both remove existential threats to Israel and to create the conditions for what he called the brave Iranian people to cast off the yoke of tyranny. He said the day when they will be able to do this is approaching, and that when it arrives, Israel and the U.S. will be there with the Iranian people.
4 U.S. soldiers have died during the initial stage of Operation Epic Fury.
One community leader in Wisconsin says he believes change in Iran is possible. Officials say organized opposition inside the country could play a role in shaping the future. Ali Sultani is a spokesperson for the Iranian-American community of Wisconsin.
What we don't want, actually, from the international community and the United States is to create another Ahmad Chalabi, what they tried to do in Iraq. We want the Iranian people to let the Iranian people, choose their own system of government and their future and allow that happen.
Sultani says he hopes for a peaceful transition led by the Iranian people.
Since the United States launched its joint military mission with Israel against Iran, the FBI, as well as the Department of Homeland Security, have upped their surveillance of possible terror attacks here in the United States. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer.
Our sources and agencies across the country say that as of right now, there are no credible threats or planned attacks, but law enforcement have been told to remain extremely vigilant. This was the FBI director's message this weekend. He said FBI personnel are fully engaged, and he instructed counterterrorism and intelligence teams to be on high alert.
President Trump says the mission could last at least 4 weeks.
A man is fighting for his life right now after a double shooting inside a hospital in downtown Milwaukee.
An early morning shooting inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center near 12th and State leaves one man fighting for his life. Police were called around 2:15 a.m. Monday. A 40-year-old victim is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. A second man, 38, is expected to survive. A 37-year-old suspect is in custody, and investigators say there is no active danger to the public. Aurora Healthcare says it partnered with police in response to the incident and confirms the medical center remains open. At Aurora Sinai Medical Center, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
And some state lawmakers want to take Wisconsin's school cell phone ban a step further.
The proposal would require school boards to adopt bell-to-bell policies, banning students from using their cell phones throughout the entire school day. It follows a bill Governor Tony Evers signed back in the fall, which will prohibit students from using phones during instructional time starting next school year. During a WisPolitics event last week, Governor Evers was asked if he would support the bell-to-bell proposal.
We're going to be in a position of doing something a local school district doesn't want. So I have to think through that. I'm concerned about it.
The bill still needs to make its way through the state legislature. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are starting to rebound here a little bit after some early morning deficits. The Dow is still off, but only about 9 points at 48,970. NASDAQ actually up today about 100 points at 22,766. And the S&P up about 10 at 6886. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks hope to bounce back after a brutal performance against the Bulls. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 5 after 12.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Claire. fun. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Are you tired of the side effects that come with GLP-1 weight loss medications? The monthly cost, the injections, and the pressure of staying on a drug long-term just to keep the weight off? What if there was another way? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we offer a doctor-supervised drug-free alternative designed for people who want real sustainable weight loss without relying on ongoing monthly prescriptions. No lifetime medications, no recurring supply costs, just a safe, structured program focused on lasting results. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today to schedule your free consultation. Lose the weight and keep it off.
Debbie Lazaga here, and I started in early January, and I've already lost about 17 pounds. I was really curious how this works with a woman going through menopause, and I'm happy to tell you that it's been working great with my metabolism.
With our Milwaukee Weight Loss Program, we've helped thousands of people right here in our area lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month and keep it off. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Group of Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The World Baseball Classic begins this week, and the Brewers have 9 players participating, including infielder Joey Ortiz, who will suit up for Team Mexico.
Getting involved in these games, these WBC games early are going to get me kind of ready to go for the season. That was also another big reason why I wanted to do it. More like playoff type atmosphere, so it's going to be pretty cool.
No Cactus League game for the Brewers today. Jacob Mizorowski is scheduled to pitch Tuesday against Great Britain. The Bucks look to bounce back from a dismal performance Sunday in Chicago against the Bulls. Milwaukee taking on the Celtics tonight at Fiserv Forum. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. A couple of issues. Let's start here on I-43 South, very close to US 45, Highway 100. The left lane is blocked right now. We have, at the moment, as I take a peek at our live video here, I can see 2 fire trucks out there. I see a tow truck is already at the scene. You've got emergency responders out there. They do have construction cones out to just keep traffic away from this area. Once again, this is on 43 South, just a little bit beyond US 45, Highway 100. The left lane is blocked. You've got emergency responders out there, fire trucks out there, the tow truck is out there. Traffic is moving along on the right lane, but it is slow going, so heads up there. The only other significant issue that I'm seeing right now, Wisconsin 175 North, just a little bit beyond I-94 East. The 2 left lanes are blocked there. Crews are going to be making some repairs, so be prepared if you're headed that way to see some trucks out there and some lanes blocked because repairs need to be made.
Well, a gentle warm-up throughout the week with today's high reaching 39 degrees, mostly sunny. Increasing clouds tonight, a low of 30. Chance of rain on Tuesday with a high of 41. Partly cloudy, some evening rain possible on Wednesday, high 44. Rain likely on Thursday and Friday. 46 the high on Thursday, up to 58 on Friday. It's 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Well, you made it. Congratulations getting through January and February. We are officially in the month of March. Daylight savings on the horizon. Get a little more daylight out of your day. And it's final hints of winter going into what should be a beautiful spring. You did something. You accomplished something if you made it through January and February.
Doesn't it feel like February lasts forever, but then all of a sudden it's like, wait, it's March? Just because it's a short month, but it feels like a long month.
Right.
So then March comes quickly, even though February felt long. It's a weird month.
Well, it was rather abrupt. Yes, we are in March 2nd, for those of you writing checks today.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
President Donald Trump just made his first public comments on the strikes in Iran. He spoke live from the White House. Previous messages about the U.S.-Israel joint strikes, ones you likely saw over the weekend, were taped and posted to social media. Today, President Trump claimed if they didn't take the chance to strike now, the country could be under threat if Iran's nuclear program had been allowed to continue. He said he warned Iran of these strikes back in June when the U.S. hit several of Iran's nuclear sites during Operation Midnight Hammer.
We warned Iran not to make any attempt to rebuild at a different location because they were unable to use the ones we so powerfully blew up. But they ignored those warnings and refused to cease their pursuit of nuclear weapons.
President Trump then laid out the goals for this conflict, and there are 4 of them.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their Navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon.
President Trump says the military operation Iran is projected to last 4 to 5 weeks, but it could go longer. 4 American service members have been killed in action. Meanwhile, the president has not ruled out putting American troops on the ground in Iran if they're necessary, he says. By the way, a new poll over the weekend from Reuters Ipsos shows 43% of Americans disapprove of strikes in Iran.
In the United States, stocks starting to rebound. Oil continues to surge as the situation in Iran intensifies. ABC News transportation correspondent Gio Benitez.
Oil, we're looking at about 11% higher in U.S. trading at more than $72 a barrel. So clearly there is an impact that we're seeing right away. We're also hearing about oil refineries that are just halting production right now in the region because they're afraid of attacks. We know that Iranian drones were trying to attack a Saudi oil refinery, and we know that another refinery has said, you know what, we're just going to halt production.
So the pause in oil production is expected to influence gas prices, something to look out for here locally. Gas Buddy is reporting an anticipated increase of about 25 cents per gallon over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Wall Street's got a fear gauge called the VIX, which we talk about every once in a while here. That jumped 18% this morning and traded at its highest level in 3 months. But the markets are starting to rebound. This morning, the futures very low here for the Dow, down about a percentage point, about 500 points. But now it's about 28 points in the red. So starting to rebound a little bit. Meanwhile, gold traded at its highest price ever this morning at about $5,400 per ounce.
It is interesting because, yes, fear is driving the U.S. market at the moment, but I saw a lot of chatter on social media yesterday about people saying they don't think that the markets are going to be impacted this time as much. The markets have just been doing weird things lately, and they've been staying high. So we'll see. Yeah,
uncertainty typically fuels market downturn or any kind of volatility. But it seems, I'd say over the last several months, that it sort of eschewed what's happening in the world. And yes, there's been some momentary blips, but you're still talking about the Dow at just under the 49,000 mark, which is a lofty total.
Yeah, and there's no doubt you're going to have people who are getting out of the market because they are fearful. But there are other people who are saying, nope, I'm going to hold with this and hope for another bump up.
12:14 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we chat with MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy. So much conversation about development in Milwaukee. What about stalled development? What is driving this? We'll get into it with Tim after this.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Doing banking differently since 1896. Greg Matzek here for Horicon Bank. Think about that for a second. Over 100 years of focus on the community and your business. At Horicon Bank, financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and your business. And yes, Horicon Bank is expanding, but they've not lost that community-minded feel. I trust Horicon Bank. I've connected with Horicon Bank, and I invite you to do the same. It's Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, member FDIC. Hey, thanks, Greg. Gentle warm-up throughout the course of the week. Today's high about 40 degrees, probably the sunniest day of the week. We're going to see sunny skies throughout the day. Clouds on the increase tonight, a low of 30, up to 41, primarily a cloudy Tuesday, 44 the high on Wednesday, 46 on Thursday, 58 on Friday. There are rain chances each one of those days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But temperatures starting to move in the right direction. It's 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:16. And our Economic Spotlight is sponsored by Horicon Bank. Together doing good. Visit HoriconBank.com. Truly the natural choice and member FDIC. Always great to check in with MMAC Senior Advisor. It's Tim Sheehy. Hey, Tim.
Good to be here on a sunny Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the month of March. We often talk about new developments in the city of Milwaukee. A lot of major development projects, including high-rise apartments, hotels, currently stalled, Tim. So which projects specifically are in this holding pattern?
Yeah, you know, there's a famous line by Thomas Edison, and he once said that vision without execution is hallucination, right? And so we've been talking about the vision part a lot of times, but if it doesn't get executed, we're hallucinating. And I'm not picking on any of the projects in particular, but it seems to me that they are so tightly wired that a change in interest rates, an increase in construction costs, other market conditions seem to bump what we talked about as an exciting new project off the map. And there's a list of them. I don't want to go through all of them, but the most obvious one probably to people walking downtown is the Edison, which is right on the river there. And you can see kind of the elevator shafts coming out. Well, that's a $25 million hole in the ground right now. And I just saw the contractor filed a $10 million lien. So, that's 31 stories and almost 380 apartments that are not going to come to fruition. There's another project on, I think it's 1550 North Prospect. That's another 192 units and 25 stories that's not going forward. And then there's another one on North Farwell that's 24 stories, 346 units, and that has, I don't want to say it's died, but certainly a significant pause. So when you put those together, that's 700-800 units that have been announced, were going to come out of the ground, and now have kind of flatlined.
Is there anything city or state leaders could do differently to help more of these projects cross the finish line, or is this solely just with the company who's in charge of getting it done?
Well, I think the city's doing what it can. I mean, if you look at the 1000 East project now, which has $14.4 million in city support in it, and they just said, look, we can't come out of the ground unless we get another $2.2 million. So I think the city's doing what it can, but the caution here is if the market isn't ready for it, if we're saturated with apartments, 333 and Couture are still slow to lease up, it's like putting, good money against bad. So I'm hopeful that the city doesn't try to rescue these projects.
Yeah.
Tim, Century, Aldi, Pick and Save stores, the River West Co-op, what do they all have in common? Milwaukee grocery stores have announced closures over the last several months. What is driving this? You never want to see that food desert, but it's starting to become more of a thing here in the city of Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I really feel for the neighborhoods that are losing these grocery stores and don't have something proximate to them. I'll leave the names of the companies out, but one of the things that I was surprised at spending my time on when I ran MMAC were the number of meetings that we had with large national chains, both food chains and, other stores, and they would come in and say, look, heads up on this. Can we talk to the mayor ahead of time? We're thinking of closing the store. And the reasons were the store wasn't making money. They had a hard time recruiting employees. There was, theft in the store, and they were concerned about crime. And so my answer to this is, and I know people can beat up on the grocery stores and some of the chains, but they're in business to make money, and they're not going to leave a location they're making money. The reasons they're not making money have oftentimes little to do with their business model and more to do just with the challenges around where they have the locations. Because again, they're in business to make money. They want to be in places that do make money. So the challenges on the margin, what do you do?
Yeah, and I worry about what happens when we don't have grocery stores in some of these places and we have a food desert. How does that trend impact workforce development and economic growth? Because it's hard to recruit families to neighborhoods without the basic amenities.
No, that's true. But, it's not just these national chains that people look at. Well, if they can't make enough money, they're pulling out. The River West Co-op, which is a very local, obviously locally owned food store, closed too. So, what the city is doing, I think they're trying to put an ordinance in place where you have to have 60 days notice. Now, if a company's made a decision to close, I'm not sure 60 days is going to help, but I'm not sure what interventions are there other than, trying to strengthen the folks in the neighborhood so they have the purchasing power to be able to attract, the stores.
So it's one of these cyclical situations, right? You've got razor-thin margins, and it's tough to make a profit in the grocery store world. And if you're not making the profit, well, then you've got aging infrastructure you got to worry about, or deferred maintenance, or that refrigerator cooler that all of a sudden is just out and shot, and you can't afford to fix it. Can anything else be done at the city level to address this? I get the 60-day notification that maybe gives you some time to pivot, but it's sort of delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, it's kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? First is safety, then is food. And I think that what we can do to help these neighborhoods become safer, because again, part of the challenge is, the concern of people working in the stores and the crime and theft that occurs in and around them is part of the reason that they decide not to do business. Now, I don't want to condemn the neighborhoods on that, but that is part of the reason. So, work to make the city safer and work to get people who can get to the point where there is a market for a food store to come in.
We're talking with Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC, and we always like to end things, if possible. It's not always possible every week, but we like to end things on a bright note. So on the brighter side, Milwaukee's restaurant scene is popping again with a number of new announcements and new openings. We know you're not a food critic, Tim, but you do like to enjoy a good meal. And we've seen a lot of good ones. In fact, you just went to one over the weekend, Cassis.
Yeah, and, it is, in all the years I've worked and lived here, it is one of the things when I travel around the country or around the world, when you come back here, you have a greater appreciation for the kind of cuisine that we have, locally grown, and locally cooked. And Cassis is a great example. It's a branch of the folks that started Birch.
Yeah.
It's kind of decorated as a subway, pair of subway tiles. The food was great. The service was friendly. It was packed. I think of a restaurant like that. Aya, if I'm pronouncing it right,
I can't wait to go there.
Is just coming in.
Yeah.
The Ascent. And Bartolotta is back at it with a high stakes European steak joint that's coming in the old Rumpus Room right there on Water Street. I've seen the designs for that. It looks incredible. We were just talking about, I think it's Nanakusa, which is the new
omakase
restaurant that's coming in. Northwestern Mutual's putting in an Italian restaurant in their new development. So at the same time, we talk about the challenges in the city. On the flip side, these are some really good restaurants coming online that make it more attractive to live, work, and play downtown, and it's awesome.
It definitely is. I mean, every year restaurants close, no doubt about that. That certainly has happened here, too, in the city of Milwaukee, but you can't keep up with the amount of new restaurants, but also the number of new restaurants that are making waves.
Yes.
That supply this sort of, next level sort of cuisine and something a little different than the restaurant that went in down the block. So it's really helped add to a wonderful culinary scene. What do they do? The top 50 thing, Rachel Bernhard does it in the Journal Sentinel. Increasingly, the list keeps growing on restaurants I've never been to, right? It used to be, I think, I've been to like 30 of those, and not even close anymore.
Oh, and it's not just downtown. I mean, if you look at a place like Argo, which opened up in the Whitefish Bay Theater, or you go way out west, Commodore, which is a relatively new restaurant. And I just saw a great review. Matter of fact, I'd like to walk over there right now, of Draft & Company, which is right across
I've heard
the
good
street
things
from
too in our
us down
neighborhood
here.
here.
They're supposed to have a smashing smash burger.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll get you out there for lunch here. Plenty of time to step aside for it. Tim Sheehy joins us every Monday here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Always good to connect, Tim. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks very much.
12:25. Tim will be at the lunch table in about 10 minutes. News coming up.
Save big money on your next painting project with Menards. Get a paint that combines gorgeous color and durability. Dutch Boys Platinum Plus is a paint and primer with a protective finish that guards against scuffs, spills, and stains. Get $15 off instantly on a single qualifying purchase of $100 or more on Dutch Boy and Purdy products. Now through March 8th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzek households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, March 2nd. Your top story, local protests over the war with Iran.
I'm Jessica Tighe. Did your polling place change?
Mostly sunny. Could touch 40 degrees today. Tonight, increasing clouds at a low of 30.
Report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. A CENTCOM spokesperson says 18 U.S. service members have been seriously wounded as part of the military operation against Iran. Earlier today, CENTCOM announcing the deaths of a fourth U.S. service member from yesterday's attack in Kuwait. Two U.S. officials have told ABC that attack occurred in Kuwait. At a morning briefing, President Trump, in his first remarks since the U.S. and Israeli joint military strikes began on Iran, says the operation could last for another 4 to 5 weeks. ABC's Mary Bruce says the president called Iran an imminent threat.
There are still some very big questions here about what evidence the president had of this imminent threat and going forward on how long this campaign is going to last. You heard the president there saying whatever it takes. Of course, this is the president who promised not to drag the U.S. into prolonged foreign conflict.
The expanded conflict in the Middle East also impacting global oil prices, which are shooting up and leading to an uptick in gas prices here. This is
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 12:31. The attacks on Iran sparking protests across the country over the weekend, including here in Milwaukee.
We want justice, you say how? We want justice, you say how?
Groups like the Milwaukee Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression condemned the attack at a girls' elementary school that killed at least 85. Protesters say the attacks fit a pattern of distraction from the Trump administration.
Another case of bird flu confirmed, this time in Dane County. The highly contagious disease was found in a backyard poultry flock. The birds are being depopulated to prevent spreading the disease. This is the second confirmed case of the disease in about a week's time. There was a commercial poultry flock impacted in Jefferson County last week. Exposure risks are low for the general public.
Well, some voters in Milwaukee will have a new polling location beginning next month.
The Milwaukee Election Commission announcing 7 new polling locations that will be activated for the April 7th election. The changes will impact 14 wards across 6 aldermanic districts and around 9,200 registered voters. Those impacted will receive a postcard at least 30 days before next month's election with their new polling location information. You can also find the changes on our website, WTMJ.com. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A popular bar and restaurant in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward is back open following the discovery of cockroaches in the basement. The Wicked Hop reopened today following a full treatment and deep cleaning over the weekend. The owners say additional preventive measures have also been put in place. The Wicked Hop closed on Thursday after inspectors discovered live roaches in the kitchen area.
Well, it's going to be a busy week on I-94 with multiple overnight closures tied to bridge demolition and pavement repairs.
As crews continue the bridge removal on the east leg of I-94, the DOT's Eric Hansen says
the concrete deck over the freeway is completely removed, and over the next few nights we're working to remove those steel girders that remain out there.
More work continues later in the week.
We do have a lot of repair work that we're going to do to maintain that existing freeway, and that'll happen Thursday and Friday night.
All closures are scheduled for overnight before reopening for the morning commute. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Giannis set to return. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:33.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
They need all the luck of the Irish. All we need is
KPJ. Kevin Porter Jr. wiggles free in the corner, hits the three and draws the foul.
the Bucks face off against the Boston Celtics at Fiserv Forum.
Porter stuffs it down with one hand and shrugs his shoulder after the fact.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
No yard is too big or too small. That's right, let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build your new deck, patio, outdoor shade area, and pergola, and everyone will scream wow when they see your new backyard. For free design and estimate, and get that project started, stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The World Baseball Classic begins this week. 9 Brewers participating, including infielder Joey Ortiz, who will suit up for Team Mexico.
Getting involved in these WBC games early are going to get me kind of ready to go for the season. That was also another big reason why I wanted to do it. More like playoff type atmosphere, so it's going to be pretty cool.
No Cactus League game for the Brewers today. Jacob Mizorowski is scheduled to pitch Tuesday against Great Britain. The Bucks look to bounce back from a dismal performance Sunday against the Bulls. They could have Giannis back on the floor. He is officially questionable on the team's injury report after missing the last several weeks with a calf strain. Bucks take on the Celtics tonight. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. The one crash I was tracking for you has since cleared, so good news there. The only other thing on the big board right now is a spot that has some blockage due to repairs. Wisconsin 175 North, just a little bit beyond I-94 East. Looks like the 2 left lanes are blocked due to repairs, so heads up there.
Mostly sunny today, high 39 degrees. Clouds on the increase tonight, a low of 30. Up to 41 on Tuesday with a chance of rain, mostly cloudy throughout the day. Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 44. Rain likely on Thursday with a high of 46. Rain again on Friday, but a high of 58. 36 and sunny in Milwaukee, approaching 12:38. Well, Wisconsin is facing a troubling surge in residents pulling out of the organ donor registry, with removals hitting a record 878 in August alone, nearly 3 times higher than the previous year. And that downward trend continued late into 2025. Another 547 people removing their names in Q4. Colleen McCarthy is the Vice President of Organ and Tissue Donation Adversity. Bill Simmons, an actual heart transplant recipient, both joining us in the studio. Thank you for visiting us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Colleen, what is driving this downward trend? Those are pretty staggering numbers.
It is a very concerning trend here, and what really seemed to trigger this was national media attention on organ donation. Stories unrelated to Wisconsin, unrelated to any of the donation stories or donors in our state. But these national stories really created fear that spread across the country. So not only did Wisconsin see a significant increase in the number of people removing themselves, but this has been happening across the country. So here in Wisconsin, there's a 350% increase in the number of people removing themselves. And the tragedy of that is that donation is built on public trust. And this is clearly a signal that public trust is eroding. And when that happens, people like Bill, who are alive today because of this amazing gift, are now at risk.
Bill, I want to jump into your story because you are the recipient of a heart transplant. What does it feel like to be waiting for a call that could save your life, knowing it depends on somebody else and somebody else's location, too?
It's a horrible event. I mean, you're every morning you're thinking, will today be the day that I die? I mean, it's or will today be the day I get a heart? You just don't know. I waited a year and 11 months for my heart, and that waiting is and you're at that point you're not well. You're quite sick. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the list waiting for a heart. So it's just a very stressful, period of time until you get the call, or in some cases don't get the call.
So, Colleen, how many people are on the list in Wisconsin? How many people are awaiting an organ donation of some kind?
In Wisconsin, there are 1,500 of our citizens waiting for a life-saving organ transplant, and the majority of those people are waiting for a kidney transplant. People like Bill that had end-stage organ failure, their only chance is a transplant. And so it's our community responsibility, Versity's responsibility to make sure that we're providing accurate information to the community so people can make an informed decision. And that is a highly personal decision. It is a decision about your health care and your wishes, and it's so important to think about that and let your families know what your decision is.
You talked about getting that call. What was that like, and how much has that changed your life?
I received the call about typically about 4:30 in the morning. Seems to be the average time people get their calls for some reason. I got the call, and as soon as I heard St. Luke's Hospital at 4 in the morning, I figured this is the call, and it was definitely one of the transplant coordinators who called and said, we've got a heart for you. Don't take caution. Don't take any really unnecessary measures to get here. But you got a little bit of time if you want to shower. We get down here and we got a heart for you.
Wow.
Also, one of the weirdest things I've ever had in my life is when I was waiting to go into transplant, a lady walked into my room, and very official looking with a clipboard, and said, "Hi, Bill, we know you're waiting to go in for a heart transplant right now, and we're just wondering if we could have your old heart," which is not a conversation you have, on a regular basis. Could we have your heart? And I said, certainly, but as long as you give me another one.
Yeah, right. Replace it, please.
So it has been 13 years and 18 days, but who's counting since my transplant?
Well, I don't know what the numbers were 13 years and 18 days ago, Bill, but you talked about living for over a year, just not knowing, right? And living, just not knowing when your last day could be, or if you're going to get that call.
Absolutely.
So when you juxtapose that, Colleen, with the numbers and where they are today, what is the projected tangible impact on that 1,500 number of individuals in Wisconsin waiting for an organ?
The impact to those 1,500 people waiting in Wisconsin is significant as people take themselves off the registry. So if we are having an erosion of trust, that is a significant concern for us. That means that less people are going to say yes to donation. That means that more people are not going to get their second chance at life. And I also want to point out that from the donor family perspective, the time that organ donation happens is at just a devastating moment in someone's life. These families are experiencing tremendous grief and crisis, and really the only potential good thing that could come out of such devastating tragedy is that lives can be saved through organ donation. So at the center of all of this are a life lost and families that are grieving, and then hopefully that results in people being saved just like Bill was.
It's so interesting because you would think, and I thought this was the case back in the day, that it was more about convincing people who were unsure about being an organ donor to decide to be an organ donor, not about people who already made the decision going back on that decision.
Mm-hmm. When we look at the data, when people remove themselves in Wisconsin from the registry, the number one reason they give is due to personal misgivings about health care. So what that means to us as we sorted through that is that people are afraid that they won't be saved if they are in a significant injury, that efforts will be made to save their life so that organs can be recovered. And that just simply is not the case. The hospitals, the nurses, the physicians, the care providers work extremely hard to preserve life and to save that life. And only when, care is exhausted and it's no longer futile, only then does organ donation be considered.
So, Colleen, does Versity work with local officials to try and figure out some level of actionable reform to combat what you're talking about, some level of bipartisan legislation?
We actually, yes, we have. We are have been advocating for donation education in high schools so that younger people can make those healthcare decisions. We have a community education team that is in all areas of our community to share accurate information from the donation and transplant professionals. We have donor families share their stories so people can hear what that experience is like. And we also have transplant patients share that story. So on all fronts, we partner with our hospitals, with our community to make sure that we're the source of accurate information for people to make a decision.
Hearing Colleen talk about trust, Bill, I'm curious for you how this experience changed the way you think about healthcare and trust and end-of-life decisions.
It's very important to be a recipient to trust your team. If you don't have trust in your team, you're going to have a very hard time, dealing with this and getting through this. I'm very lucky that I had a phenomenal team, and I have met many, many, many transplant patients over the years. My wife and I are very strong advocates and supporters of transplant. We speak around the state, and we do a lot of advocating, and like Colleen was talking about, some of the like we do educational tables and things like that to try and sign people up and educate people on it to kind of alleviate their fears that they're having now. But it's very important to have trust in your team. If they tell me jump off a bridge, I'm jumping off a bridge because they've got me this far, and I trust them wholeheartedly. That's not the case for everybody, obviously. There's been some pretty bad information put out there, and there's a lot of questions people have that need answers, and that's what we try and do. And Colleen is phenomenal at that, and so is Adversity is very good at that. And I did medical photography for many years, and I've been in many, many life and death situations in the OR. And I can tell you that when somebody is in really bad shape, they don't go, let him go, he's going to be an organ donor. I mean, I can tell you that operating room goes crazy to try and save that person. And the people in the OR doing that, those life-saving, they have nothing to do with the organ donation. That's a totally separate team. So they have no idea if you're an organ donor or not. Their goal is to keep you alive. And I've seen that firsthand hundreds of times. So.
As you go around from community to community advocating and sharing your story, that's one thing. I'm sure you have many conversations with people, but have you ever just bumped into anybody or met a new friend, somebody who was not an organ donor, told that story? I'm just kind of curious about that interaction.
Just recently, I was just at a Sam's Club, and this lady was talking something about, looked at me and said, I have to go to my, I don't know why, I have to go to my heart doctor, and I'm having some troubles. And I said, if you don't mind, we could. And so we talked about it a little bit. And I told her my story, and she signed up right on the spot. I mean, she was not a organ donor. And I've had that happen. My mail lady, I have donate life flags in my yard and stuff. My mail lady, who's a kidney recipient and a liver recipient, was not an organ donor. And we chatted, and she signed up. She signed up people at the post office. She asked if she could have some yard signs like I have to put in her yard. And I have stuff like this happen, I would say monthly, easily, if not weekly.
Love that.
So, Colleen, what can people do, right, hearing this, and if they're not an organ donor right now, what's a step to accomplish that?
I think the most important thing you can do is seek out accurate information. DonateLifeWisconsin.org has our Wisconsin State Registry link, and it also has information about donation and transplantation. So taking some time to go through that information and make that personal decision. And we always advocate for people to share their decision with their family so that their family also knows their wishes.
Colleen, Bill, thank you for joining us here and shedding some light on this and kind of staggering numbers here. And we'd like to see those reversed when we talk again next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And, sign those driver's license and educate yourself and do your homework.
Appreciate it, Bill. It's 12:49 on WTMJ.
Have you ever been contacted by a stranger who asked you to invest? Maybe it was a new online love interest, investment coach, or social media influencer. In reality, it was likely a scammer who wanted to take control of your money and disappear. Before investing, Talk to someone you already know and trust to verify if an opportunity is too good to be true. Learn more at datcp.wi.gov. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
Hey, the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls is where you need to go if you are a dog owner and dog lover. Why? Well, think about it. You got a longer than expected work day. You check in with the Hounds and Tap for doggy daycare. If you're headed out of town for the weekend, boarding service is also available for you at the Hounds and Tap. Just need a grooming appointment made? You can do it there as well. Full-on spa day or just a nail trim, whatever you need, whatever your pup requires. And if you just want a place to hang out and get out of the house for a day or a night, check out the Hounds and Tap, their beautiful indoor-outdoor tavern. Looking at the forecast for this weekend, I'm seeing maybe 60 on Sunday. Well, you can bet that would be a perfect time to bring the family to the Hounds and Tap. Sundays are family days. Might see a food truck out there, watch the game, grab an ice-cold beverage, let your dog socialize. You have fun as well. It's the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. No place like it. The go-to place with top-tier services for doggy daycare, boarding, and grooming. Hang out and carve out your day at the Hounds and Tap. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure.
Find your perfect new home at capricommunities.com.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as third generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
Well, pretty nice day today. Temperatures right around where they should be. 40 degrees your high, plenty of sun, overnight low of 30. 41 tomorrow, more of a cloudy day than a sunny day. Up to 44 degrees on Wednesday with a chance of evening rain. Thursday's high 46, Friday's high 58. 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:52. Well, there's new data showing that insufficient sleep among teens is a major public health issue in the United States. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Columbia University professor Mark Olfson says a large sample of nearly 121,000 students finds that
high school students in America aren't getting enough sleep.
And the problem is getting worse. Data from 2007 through 2023 finds that the number of students getting some 7 hours of sleep is up nearly 7%, driven by a rise of those getting about 5 hours of sleep.
It has implications for mental health.
Olfson says starting school later in the day has helped some teens get more sleep. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
It's one of the driving factors in what the Elmbrook School District is looking to do here, and that's switch around their start times, because the earliest start time is for middle school students, and their findings are that the research suggests they need to flip this around. They need to start later in the day and not start so early. They've got a plan for high schoolers to start a little later as well.
But it's not so easy to do. You can't just say, okay, starting next year, we're going to change the school start times and the end times. I mean, you have to deal with the buses. You have to deal with after-school activities. There is so much involved in making that change. It is a big one. It's a big decision. I really liked this study in particular, because a lot of times you hear, a study today, a study tomorrow, this and that, and things change. But I like this one because researchers tracked 16 years of data.
Yeah.
And they found the percentage of students getting insufficient sleep rose from 69% in 2007 to nearly 77% in 2023. So that's 16 years of data. So that's a significant study, number one, and it also shows you that this problem didn't just appear overnight.
No, definitely not. I mean, this is years of research. I was shocked to find that in the Elmbrook School District specifically, picking on it because that's where I went and you were there as well. Same exact start times for elementary school, middle school, and high school as when I was a student graduating in 1996. It's crazy to think about, but it goes to your point as well. I got to change the bus routes, the bus schedules. How do you pick up and drop off? What about after-school activities? Like, there's so many considerations here, and they're working through that in the Elmbrook District. But their finding is that the research suggests the students who need the most sleep are definitely not getting it, so they're looking to make a change. 12:55 here on WTMJ. Just getting started here. Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. Plenty to get to coming up in hours number 2 and 3. Stay with us and subscribe to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast built by Siding Unlimited.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Well, grab the dial, crank it up. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection through the end of the month. You could win a share of over $1 million in prizes, one of 3 Ford vehicles, grand finale drawing on March 27th, and it's only at Potawatomi. Grab that rewards card or sign up to be a rewards member, and you can play. More information is available online. Must be 21 years or older. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, cranking up its Winning Hits collection through the end of March. And don't forget about basketball in the month of March. Yeah, things really start heating up here in a couple of weeks, and you can catch all the action at the beautiful Potawatomi Sportsbook, located on the main floor at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Check it out in Milwaukee.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026. Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Sewer Ninjas and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday. Let's do this Monday. ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We get it. You're on the go. and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
They need all the luck of the Irish. All we need is
Kevin Porter Jr. wiggles free in the corner, hits the three and draws the foul.
the Bucks take on the Celtics at Fiserv Forum.
Porter stuffs it down with one hand and shrugs his shoulder after the fact.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6 on the home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, March 2nd. Your top story. Did the president act outside of his powers?
I'm Jessica Tighe. Walmart delivery drivers are finally getting their tips.
Mostly sunny today, high 40 degrees. Clouds on the increase tonight with a low of 30. It's currently 36 and sunny in Milwaukee. At 1 o'clock from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, over the weekend, President Trump launching Operation Epic Fury, beginning a war with Iran in the Middle East. However, there are calls that the president acted outside of his powers by committing the U.S. military to a war that hadn't been approved by Congress. News Nation's Trevor Shirley.
This week, members of Congress are expected to vote on a bipartisan war powers resolution that could limit President Trump's ability to continue military strikes on Iran. However, that legislation is not expected to pass. Congress is also expected to get additional classified briefings on the military action throughout this week.
Questions remain about what comes next in Iran. Experts say the situation is unpredictable. Marquette professor Anaya Othman on Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News.
Outside pressure or calls for regime change from outside powers usually does not bring democratic government. I mean, we experienced this in Iraq. We experienced this in other states that were pressured or they were triggered for regime changes.
Othman says they'll likely elect new leaders, but it's still unclear on the long-term outcome overall.
2 people in Milwaukee shot inside a hospital downtown.
Milwaukee police are investigating a double shooting inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center near 12th and State. Officers responded just after 2:15 Monday morning. A 40-year-old man is being treated for life-threatening injuries, while a 38-year-old man suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police arrested a 37-year-old man in connection with the shooting and say there is no ongoing threat to the public. Aurora Healthcare says staff worked closely with law enforcement and that care is being provided to those affected. The hospital remains open. At Aurora Sinai Medical Center, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Walmart delivery drivers here in Wisconsin will soon get some financial relief from a multi-state settlement. Attorney General Josh Call says Walmart and its delivery service, Spark Driver, will pay more than $600,000 to the state as part of the settlement. The big box retailer is accused of withholding tips from delivery drivers and changing pay after orders were accepted. Wisconsin is one of 11 states, along with the FTC, that sued Walmart.
As America prepares to mark its 250th anniversary, history is hitting the road.
The National Archives is on an unprecedented mission to bring some of America's founding documents directly to you. Documents including the Treaty of Paris, an original engraving of the Declaration of Independence, oaths of allegiance, and more. A Freedom plane will carry those pieces of history to 8 cities across the country. The Boeing 737 takes off from Reagan National Airport today. First stop, Kansas City. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
The U.S. 250 tour is expected to stop in Wisconsin September 20th. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is off about 150 points. Futures, the Dow was off about 500, so it's fought back quite a bit today after the breaking news from Iran over the weekend. 48,829 for the Dow. The Nasdaq is up about 33 points at 22,700. S&P kind of bouncing back and forth, currently 7 points in the red at 68.68. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
We also hope the Milwaukee Bucks bounce back. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 104.
2026 Brewers tickets are on sale now. This year, it all kicks off at our house with opening day at home, followed up with a schedule that's absolutely loaded. Throw in the same flair for the dramatic thrills on any given night. Plus Brewers giveaways you won't forget. And you've got a season you're going to have to see to believe. Don't miss a second of Brewers action this year. The crew is back for more. All Brewers tickets for the 2026 season are on sale now at Brewers.com.
Hey, WTMJ is throwing strikes for a cause, and this is the week to get signed up. If you haven't done so yet, you're invited. Bowling for Babies, presented by Gruber Law Offices, Saturday, March 7th. Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. We've got 18 teams signed up. We got to get to 21. That's our goal here. If you can be a part of that, you will help us raise money for the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Great cause, and it should be a lot of fun. Get that team of 4 together. Hit the lanes with us. March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. Text the word baby to the WTMJ talk and text line. That's 855-616-1620. Gets you all the info back to your mobile device. You can sign up for Bowling for Babies. Let's bowl and help families in need.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Hey beauties, you're invited to swing by your local Merle Norman for a fabulous eye-catching gift with purchase that's sure to make you sparkle. What's inside this gift? Only the essentials for eye perfection. Trial sizes of Brilliancy eye cream, eyeshadow primer, a soft touch eyeshadow duo, and soft touch eye pencil. Hurry, these goodies are only good while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics Salon and Spa at Brookfield Square. Free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last at participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios only. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to modify the gift if needed. Promotion not available at merlenorman.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Night 2 of a back-to-back for the Bucks taking on the Celtics at Fiserv Forum. Giannis listed as questionable on the Bucks injury report. He's missed the last several weeks with a calf strain. Doc Rivers hoping the team bounces back after being outscored 33-8 in the fourth quarter of Sunday's loss to the Bulls.
When you approach the game and play like that, you don't deserve to win. If we had won the game, I'd have been upset. Taking the win because we need it. But that is not how you play basketball.
Coverage gets underway at 6:30 tonight. College basketball Horizon League tournament begins this week. UW Green Bay, the 5 seed, they'll take on Purdue Fort Wayne at Tuesday night. Milwaukee Panthers are the number 8 seed. They'll play Detroit Mercy Wednesday night in Michigan. No game for the Brewers today. Jacob Mizorowski is scheduled to make his spring debut Tuesday against Great Britain.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It's looking pretty good for a Monday. There is only one item up on the big board, and it's some repairs that are being made, so lanes are blocked because of it. Wisconsin 175 north, just a little bit beyond I-94 east. The 2 left lanes are blocked because of repairs.
Sunny skies today, temperatures reaching 40 degrees, overnight low 30. Tomorrow, 41 degrees your high, partly cloudy skies, 44 the high on Wednesday, 46 on Thursday, 58 on Friday. Chance of rain, however, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. It's 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 108.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Well, the Monday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News with you on WTMJ till 3 o'clock this afternoon. No Brewers game. They're back at it tomorrow. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday of this week. As we get into the month of March, baseball starts to heat up here, college basketball as well.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, President Trump's first public comments on Operation Epic Fury. The U.S.-Israel joint strikes in Iran started early Saturday. 4 American service members have been killed in action. Today, President Trump explained the reason for the strikes and what he hopes to accomplish. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers with the latest.
President Trump today said Iran would soon have had missiles capable of reaching the U.S., but U.S. intelligence agencies say Iran would not have had that capability for 9 years. The president also said the U.S. was, quote, very nearly under threat by Iran.
An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people, our country itself.
But sources tell ABC that the Trump administration told congressional staff over the weekend that U.S. intelligence did not suggest that Iran was preparing to launch a preemptive strike against U.S. interests. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Today, the president laid out his goals. First, destroy Iran's missile capabilities. Second, annihilate their naval force. Third, ensure Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon.
Well, number 2, Eric Clapton is coming to Milwaukee. Maybe not that version of Eric Clapton. Well, I mean, he's 80 years old, so you might get more of this of Eric Clapton than
That's
the latter.
okay.
But
This
hey,
is a classic.
all good. Clapton today announcing a 6-stop tour in the United States. It's not a big, wide-ranging tour. After all, he is 80 years old, but there is a stop in Milwaukee. It's a largely Midwestern tour, and he'll be at Fiserv Forum on September 13th. The tour begins in Detroit. It'll also make stops in Cincinnati, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Kansas City. The last time Clapton performed in Milwaukee, I had to look this up, Summerfest 2010. He was a headliner at the then Marcus Amphitheater. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 o'clock. Eric Clapton coming to Fiserv Forum.
Number 3, a battle over AI technology is intensifying after President Trump's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declared Anthropic a supply chain risk. The company is now vowing to fight the decision in court, saying the administration is setting a dangerous precedent for companies that agree to work with the government. Axios senior AI reporter Madison Mills on the complex challenges facing any potential legal case from the company.
This is the challenge with the complete lack of governance around AI that we currently have. There isn't regulation right now or laws in place about what surveillance via AI can look like, about the role of companies and their terms of service.
She says we saw a similar situation before when tech companies like Apple and Facebook first launched. There wasn't clarity about the rules yet, so the government's relations with those companies looked a bit different than they do today. And one of the big questions now is what the regulation could look like for AI companies.
It is 1:12 on WTMJ. It's being called Operation Epic Fury. And earlier today, President Trump outlined 4 primary goals for the military operation in Iran. We'll go through it with CBS's Stacey Lynn, who is in the nation's capital, after this.
Stop in for savings this week at Fleet Farm that'll help put winter in your rear view. Get a free $25 gift card with the purchase of $100 in Columbia, Dickies, Under Armour, or Wrangler clothing. Fire up the flavor with Griller's Gold barbecue pellets for just $8.99 a bag. And buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper or Goodyear tires with our complete installation package and Resolute road hazard policy. Don't miss these limited time deals, only at Fleet Farm. And for even more, go to fleetfarm.com.
Well, if you've been hurt in an accident, you know it can really flip your world upside down. Thankfully, you've got the likes of Gruber Law Offices here in Wisconsin to help you through that process. And it is quite a process. They understand it, but the folks at Gruber will take on your case. They will fight for you. They've been doing it for 40 years here in the state of Wisconsin, standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders, helping people and families seriously injured in accidents. You focus on healing. Gruber focuses on the legal aspect. One of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. Family values with David and his team, but it's a big team, 30-plus attorneys that will go to bat for you, providing the best care, service, and representation, all top priorities for Gruber. Also giving back to the community, supporting a wonderful initiative here at WTMJ, benefiting the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. That's right, Bowling for Babies, one of many community initiatives sponsored by the folks at Gruber. Locally known and nationally recognized wonderful people, visit gruber-law.com. Learn about them, in addition to what they do in the community. And make that call if you've been hurt in an accident. Call 414-276-6666.
At Capri Communities, they believe people of every age deserve to enjoy life.
I recently moved my dad into a Capri community.
he has gained such new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on great new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place really gives me the peace of mind I needed. And now, we're both enjoying life again.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort.
Lots of sunshine today. We should top out around 40 degrees. Overnight low 30. 41 the high on Tuesday. Partly cloudy skies. That continues on Wednesday with a chance of rain, high of 44. 46 the high on Thursday. 58 on Friday. Rain is expected both of those days. Looking like another sunny day somewhere in the weekend. We'll dive through the details coming up at about 1:37 with TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. It's 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 1:15.
President Trump will not rule out ground troops in Iran, and he says the campaign could last 5 weeks. Let's get the latest on what we know right now as the Iran war continues for a third day. CBS White House correspondent Stacey Lynn joins us live from Washington. Stacey, what's your biggest takeaway from the president's first public comment since these strikes began? I know we saw videos over the weekend, videos posted to social media, but this was different. This was the president live from the White House for the first time.
Right. I think a lot of the big questions people had was, why this? Why now? And he said this was necessary because Iran was trying to rebuild its nuclear program. He said that they found out that the Iranians were working at a different site to try to make a nuclear weapon through enrichment. You know, he thought they had a deal made, but negotiations have kind of reached an impasse. So he said because the regime had missiles capable of striking Europe and would soon have them capable of hitting America, this all posed a huge threat to U.S. forces. So that's why he said, you know, this is the time and we had to do it now. This apparently, Jessica, was planned out for quite a long time. And I think they had several different timelines for when this strike was going to take place, and it kind of got moved several times. And interesting to hear today also him talking about the timeline of how long this Operation Epic Fury is going to even last. He said they kind of thought, they projected 4 to 5 weeks for this. But they also said that hitting these big leaders, the supreme leader being one of them, they thought would take a long time. And it took merely an hour. So he said, well, he's still projecting 4 to 5 weeks for this operation, and the U.S. is capable of, you know, sustaining the fight even beyond that timeline. It's kind of up in the air right now. So those are kind of the big takeaways. I mean, we kind of heard, and, you know, he alluded to several of these things this weekend in his pre-taped videos, but actually seeing him speak to it, you know, prior to this Medal of Honor ceremony in the East Room of the White House was a different story. Now, he did not take questions, so he wasn't pressed any further about what he meant for a lot of these things that he spoke of.
You know, Stacey, the president also calling the Iranian people to, quote, take back their country, suggesting that this is a good thing for you. If you live in Iran, this is a good day for you. Any idea or thought that the folks in Iran are buying that sentiment?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've heard people from both sides, Iranians that do live there and Iranians that, you know, don't even live in the country and are elsewhere, that, you know, clearly the leadership there, you know, has not been good. They're not good people for quite some time, yet what it means for them and how they proceed forward is a whole different story. You know, right now, we don't know who's leading, you know, Iran. When a supreme leader dies or is incapacitated, they say a temporary leadership council takes over. The new leader will formally be chosen. So the people in the streets, the people that live there, don't really know who that's going to be and, you know, what state they will be in. As for a regime change, what that means for them is still unknown. We do know that this new temporary leadership council is already acting. They're managing the state affairs as we speak. Over the weekend, Iran's foreign minister kind of had hinted a decision on who this new supreme leader will be could be reached even within a day or two. So we're kind of just at a wait-and-see approach right now, and I think the Iranian people are kind of, maybe feeling a little bit hopeful for their future, but they're kind of on pause, kind of waiting to see what this really means for them.
I'm also curious, and I don't know that you have the answer to this, but how many people are considered leaders in Iran when we talk about 49 senior regime leaders being killed in the strikes? I mean, that number is just incredible.
I thought the same thing because we hear all the time about, the supreme leader, the, Ayatollah, but you don't hear about these other people. And they had kind of very specific plans about how to take out these people, thought that they would be, one by one. It would take several weeks to fulfill this operation. And in fact, these people were pretty much all in one place and not in underground bunkers. And they were able to take them all out. So what that means next for, who the supreme leader will be and all these people under the supreme leader is still unknown.
U.S. casualties, there have already been 4 confirmed. 4 U.S. service members have been killed in action. Counterattacks are part of this, right? You've got a months-long battle here at least. I mean, really, it's been a decades-long battle. But the thought that there will be a counterattack, well, that's already started here, Stacey. How is the White House preparing for that? It's kind of the world of the unknown when you know that force is coming back.
Yeah, of course. And President Trump acknowledged that over the weekend. He warned that with any type of war, and they're using that term now, war, with any type of attacks like these and strikes, there are going to be counterattacks, and American casualties will, in fact, happen. And we've seen 4 so far. He, says that probably won't be the last of it. He acknowledged the 4 service members killed in action during his remarks today. He said that they are continuing the mission in their memory. So their White House is basically saying this is war and this is what happens in war, and we, obviously appreciate the work and the sacrifice of the U.S. service members.
I keep thinking about our military families and those families right now who are waiting, just waiting. They haven't heard from their loved one. They're wondering, is it my loved one? What do we know about the timeline as far as when we could learn the names of those American troops who were killed?
Yeah, White House isn't putting out names just yet, so we're not exactly sure. But you're right. I mean, these family members are sitting at home, kind of in that moment of fear, wondering if it's going to be them that's going to get that phone call or that knock on the door.
What's been the congressional reaction to these strikes, Stacey?
Congress not too happy on both sides of the aisle because, the president is supposed to approach Congress and they're supposed to have discussions and vote on any sort of military action. And obviously the president went ahead and did this without them. And the president's been pushing back on them. And lawmakers on, both Republicans and Democrats alike are calling for them to be involved and saying we need to know, what is happening and when and how long this operation is going to last. And that's what is happening today on Capitol Hill. They're actually discussing that.
We're talking with CBS White House correspondent Stacey Lynn, who is joining us live from Washington. Stacey, what should we all be watching for in the next 24 or 48 hours here?
Yeah, I mean, on the home front, lone wolves, lone actors are something that they always warn us of here. I mean, we saw there was that mass shooting at a bar in Austin the other day, and they were pointing their finger at that possibly being a terrorist response to this because the suspect had on a shirt indicating, Allah. And so those are things that they say just kind of be very aware, very cognizant of your surroundings at all times. There has been heightened security at very big important places around the country as well. But as far as overseas, the president says this will continue, and I think he told one of the media outlets this morning we've seen nothing yet. That the big attack is still to come. So we're kind of just all sitting here waiting, and the president obviously not taking questions today, and there are no more open events this afternoon at the White House, which obviously always can change and is always fluid, yet they're keeping things very guarded right now.
You mentioned the president not taking any questions after making these first public comments. I thought it was interesting, too, because then it just kind of took this, it just shifted to what he calls the most beautiful ballroom. It's going to be the most beautiful ballroom in the entire world, and driving the piles and the noise, and Melania doesn't like the noise. And it just seemed like all of a sudden it went real casual.
A little awkward.
Yeah.
A little awkward. Yeah, I was in the room and we kind of were looking around at each other, and it was just a very awkward moment. I mean, he's talking about service members that have died in action and kind of just moved on in the next minute to, his beautiful ballroom and the construction sound. And then obviously the moment when he was awarding these Medal of Honor recipients the highest honor. So yeah, you're absolutely correct in reading the room there. It was a little bit awkward on our end as well.
Yeah, it felt like that when I was watching it. But then I also thought, well, he is the president and he has to deal with a lot of things. And that is another thing way down on the list. But yeah.
Well, and that's par for the course with this president, as we know. I mean, he just kind of takes things and rolls with them.
CBS's Stacey Lynn, live from Washington. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you, Stacey. So I connected with Steve Scafidi earlier today. So he's got a listener trip right now, and he's in Cairo, Egypt, of all places, right? And they left, I think, prior to the weekend and prior to the strikes. So he is not far from some very hostile territory right now. And I asked Steve if he's doing okay. He said, look, we're in Cairo. Everything seems to be fine. Cairo right now, in that portion of Egypt, a level 2 on the U.S. travel advisory list, which is not high. That is very common. In fact, that's a comfortable level. You would travel to a place that is a level 2 and not really be fearful. But there are areas in Egypt that are a level 4, which means do not travel. Do not go there at all. And you can imagine where those are in that northeast corner. But Cairo is only about 4 or 5 hours from that do not travel area. So he said, look, we had excursions planned, and some of those that were planned to Jerusalem or Jordan have been canceled, as you might expect. Steve said he's doing okay, but he had been up for about 24 hours straight. So we're going to check in with him tomorrow to see how things are roughly a day later.
Yeah, wow. My husband's in Nigeria for work right now, and I knew it wasn't super close, but I also was like looking at the map and looking like, how close is it? Because you just don't know in a situation like this what is going to happen next. And as far as the airspace and what's closed and what's not, and I know a lot of other families are in that same position too. But again, I also go back to the families of these military members just sitting there waiting. It's got to be the worst.
Yeah.
It has to be the ultimate worst.
It is 1:26 on WTMJ. 1:30 news is right around the corner.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday can be a real challenge, right? Make it easier with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love easy, and I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a top choice award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Plus, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a choice steak, the twin lobster tails, the braised pork shank. How about ribs, pasta, seafood, even a big, huge, fresh salad? Any entree, your second dinner is free. Dessert and ice cream drinks, I love those. Also, buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy for the table. 4 desserts, get 4 free. Relax with a cocktail, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Old World Bar is elegant, 8 beautiful dining rooms. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Start your week with a free dinner at the award-winning Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Tables are open, serving from 4. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
Augustin Hadalick returns to the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra March 6th and 7th as soloist in Mendelssohn's soulful and fiery violin concerto. Don't miss this opportunity to hear one of the most celebrated artists of our time as he teams up with music director Ken David Mazur for an unforgettable concert experience filled with gorgeous melodies. Call the box office now to reserve your best seats at 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org. These concerts will also feature the mighty and romantic Symphony No. 3 by Johannes Brahms, as well as a self-described companion work to the Brahms Third by Detlev Glanert. It's a program of audience favorites that is sure to feature some of the most inspired music making you've ever heard. Don't miss Hadalick and Brahms at the MSO March 6th and 7th only. Visit mso.org for tickets and more information or call 414-291-7605.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I need information about siding, I call Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
I'm Scott Klein. If you're tired of painting or your siding is beyond repair, it may be time to look at the advantages of a new siding system. Additional insulation, along with Tyvek's weatherization system, can significantly improve your home's energy efficiency while protecting it from water and air infiltration. We offer a variety of siding products, all in installed by J&B's certified employees, which will provide decades of performance and beauty.
For a complimentary siding evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, March 2nd. Your top story, challenges communicating with family in Iran.
I'm Jessica Tighe. An energy company leaves out a few details about its data center rates.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Airstrikes across the Middle East continuing today as Iran retaliates against U.S. and Israel's major combat operation that killed Iran's supreme leader Saturday. The violence leading to 18 U.S. service members being seriously wounded, according to a CENTCOM spokesperson. It follows the deaths of 4 U.S. service members in Kuwait. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Amman, Jordan, and has more on the escalations that are keeping the region on edge.
Dozens and dozens and dozens of Iranian missiles have been fired at these countries, U.S. military bases in those countries. Most of them have been intercepted, but we have seen the deadly nature of some of those strikes. So that's what we've seen the last couple of days, and that's certainly what we're expecting to see as this situation continues. Iran not showing any signs yet that it's going to slow down this missile barrage.
President Trump says the operation could take anywhere from 4 to 5 more weeks or longer. He also offered condolences to families of the fallen service members, but warned more U.S. lives could be lost. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Families with ties to Iran say communication has become more difficult in recent days. Ali Sultani with the Iranian American Community of Wisconsin tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News.
Technology right now and the way communication is, it's like talking to your person next to you. WhatsApp, Telegram, and Instagram, and all these applications. We talk all the time. Unfortunately, the last couple of days, obviously the internet has been cut off, so I haven't been able to contact them. But the situation in Iran is very dire.
Sultani says the shutdown adds to the concerns about conditions in Iran.
We could see some volatility with the stock market this week amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Annex Wealth Management CEO Dave Spano.
The market reacts more favorably post-military events than post-financial events.
Investors say a bigger concern is a spike in oil prices, which could make inflation even worse.
Wisconsin's Public Service Commission orders Alliant Energy to resubmit documents about a data center after its first submission hid details from the public.
The redactions were not going to be allow us to do sort of the basic functions of open government.
Alliant Energy has since filed a revised application for custom electric rates for the Meta Data Center campus in Beaver Dam. It's a win for consumer advocates like Clean Wisconsin, who say the original proposal had too many loopholes.
This contract puts too much risk on Alliant Energy's other customers, which are Wisconsin families and small businesses. And it prevents the PSC from being able to impose conditions that protect our environment.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
High interest rates and economic uncertainty have stalled some major construction projects here in Milwaukee. That includes the Edison High Rise and several other apartment projects in the downtown area. MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy during the first hour of Wisconsin's Midday News.
I think the city's doing what it can, but the caution here is if the market isn't ready for it, if we're saturated with apartments, 333 and Couture are still slow to lease up, it's like putting good money against bad. So I'm hopeful that the city doesn't try to rescue these projects.
A report last year found more than 70% of Milwaukee's new apartment projects are focused in the heart of the city.
A library is connecting the community with more than books. The Waukesha Public Library hosts Memory Cafe for dementia patients and their caregivers once a month. Library Director Bruce Gay shares the impact with WTMJ's What's on Tap.
It's adults connecting with each other, and they make friendships and they find support groups in this way that is very carefully planned. It's just a lovely morning. We'll have 50 to 80 people here in our community rooms for that event.
The event requires registration and is free to attend.
The return of Giannis. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, East 134.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life, rejuvenate.
So it's all too common of a story. And it's common enough that we account for a certain percentage of our new patients to make their first appointment and get cold feet. They put it off. I'm not sure why, because our physicians are offering legitimate medical pain relief treatment. The combination of hyaluronic acid and Toradol cushions joints and has an extremely powerful effect in reducing inflammation. So much so that a vast majority of Rejuvenex patients report a significant improvement with their pain. I guess it's human nature, but sometimes human nature keeps us in our comfort zone, even when it means remaining living in pain. So after you make your appointment to alleviate your pain, and that little voice tries to convince you to put it off, don't, because your pain problems can be solved, and you can live a better life.
Rejuvenate. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we could be seeing you tomorrow.
Tough to buy a new house right now, so invest in the home you have with Matrix Basement Finishing. Vince Vitrano here. Build that lower-level space where you can build relationships. This is a spot the whole family can enjoy. Movie night, place for games with the kids. Speaking of the kids, a place where they can bring their friends. Yours can be the house everybody wants to hang out. They're out of your way. And rest easy knowing your kids have a fun, safe environment to enjoy. Financing available. Book now. Make no payments until 2028. MatrixBasements.com.
Hey beauties, you're invited to swing by your local Merle Norman for a fabulous eye-catching gift with purchase that's sure to make you sparkle. What's inside this gift? Only the essentials for eye perfection. Trial sizes of Brilliancy eye cream, eyeshadow primer, a soft touch eyeshadow duo, and soft touch eye pencil. Hurry, these goodies are only good while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics Salon and Spa at Brookfield Square. Free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last at participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios only. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to modify the gift if needed. Promotion not available at merlenorman.com.
The Mine Chef's Wednesday and Friday, all-you-can-eat haddock Lenten fish fry is just $8.99. Kids and grandkids, 5 and under, eat free from the kids' menu Sunday through Thursday. Google, call, and reserve your $8.99 fish fry. It's the Mine Chef.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. It's night 2 of a back-to-back for the Bucks taking on the Celtics at Fiserv Forum. Giannis is listed as questionable on the Bucks injury report. He hasn't played in about 5 weeks due to a right calf strain. Doc Rivers' team looking to bounce back after being outscored 33-8 in the fourth quarter of Sunday's loss to the Bulls.
When you approach the game and play like that, you don't deserve to win. If we had won the game, I'd have been upset. I'd have taken the win because we need it. But that is not how you play basketball.
Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:30. Horizon League tournament begins this week in college basketball. UW Green Bay men, the 5 seed, they'll take on Purdue Fort Wayne Tuesday night. Milwaukee Panthers are the number 8 seed. They'll face Detroit Mercy Wednesday in Michigan. And the Brewers are off today. Jacob Mizorowski scheduled to make his spring training debut Tuesday against Great Britain.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It was looking really good before, but unfortunately we have a new crash, and this is not a good situation. 4194 South, about a mile and a half beyond Layton Avenue. The outer lanes are blocked due to a crash. Traffic is definitely slowing down, still moving, but going extremely slow. As I take a peek at the various cameras here, it looks like at least 1 semi is involved, possibly 2. I do see emergency responders are at the scene right now. Once again, traffic moving very slowly. This is a new one. This one happened about 10 minutes ago here. 4194 South, about a mile and a half beyond Layton Avenue. The outer lanes are blocked due to a crash involving semis.
Well, the sun is out today. Temperatures right around normal-ish for the early portion of March. We welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. Lauren, congrats. You made it through February. Well done. It's always an accomplishment.
Yeah, made it through February and meteorological winter because March 1st starts meteorological spring.
Woohoo! A lot of people don't like to say that, though. Sometimes it can be a tongue tie.
Well,
well, yes.
But we like it. We like it. And we love the sun that's out there today. How warm are we going to get today? And then how long is that going to last? It looks like we're kind of we're going to go up, then we're going to take a dip, and then we're going to go back up like we're on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, definitely. There aren't any major temperature swings like we had last week. We're not going to go from 60 on Friday to, 25 on Saturday afternoon, which is good. But there are some ups and downs as we go throughout the next 7 days. To answer your first question, how warm is it going to get today? Really not a lot warmer than it is outside right now. We can expect to top out in the upper 30s across southeast Wisconsin. A little bit breezy, so our feels like temperatures are maybe a few degrees below that, but still looks very nice outside today. It won't really last forever, unfortunately. We turn our sunshine into cloudy skies tonight and then expect a few rain showers tomorrow morning. So keeping an eye on that. This will not be the rainiest day of the week. This is really just some scattered showers early tomorrow. And then as we go throughout the day, cloudy skies. Temperatures, though, making it to the low 40s for Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday and Thursday, we're in the mid to upper 40s, so going in the right direction. But Thursday and Friday, it is likely that we see widespread rain showers. I don't think either day will be a complete washout necessarily, but it is going to be less. You're not going to see on the radar like scattered showers. It's more going to be a larger scale rain system. So that's likely on Thursday and Friday, likely again as we get into Saturday. But a few of those days, our temperatures should be in the mid to upper 50s, maybe pushing 60 degrees too.
So, Lauren, what were our official snow totals for Saturday? Because it was kind of a thing. It looked really cool. I knew it wasn't going to last terribly long once it hit. Mother Nature did its thing the rest of the weekend. Didn't have to bring out the shovel, thankfully. But there was a decent amount sticking in the lawn.
Oh my goodness. It was something because the Storm Team forecast called for higher snowfall totals for Fond du Lac County and Sheboygan County. But throughout the day Saturday, that line of snow really pushed farther and farther south. And I do think Milwaukee was hit not necessarily hard. We're talking 1 to 2 inches of snow. But it really did bring down the visibility for a while. And if you had plans Saturday night, it was pretty slick out there. We saw a few accidents across really the southeast Wisconsin, mainly Milwaukee, though. So I would say most people reading about 1 to 2 inches of snow. I don't think we had any reports into our weather center higher than 2.5 inches.
So we don't need to put money on it, but are we, and I feel like for Greg and I, it would be more of a bet. For you, you've got the knowledge somewhere in the weather office to back this up, but what are we thinking as far as how many more times this season we could see snow?
Well, when you're talking,
I know it's a tough one.
I don't want to say that this is something that I would bet on as well, because we can't, look at the weather models that go out 10 days or 14 days and give you anything really past that. I will say the Climate Prediction Center is saying it's going to be a wetter spring, wetter than normal, or at least a better chance of that. So more precipitation, but that doesn't necessarily mean rain or snow. It just is saying more all across.
We're going to get something.
So your question, how many more times, if I were to bet, let's go with 6.
Ooh, that's more than I was going to go with. I was going to go with at least one significant one and maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, it's snow. It's snow, but that's about it. Greg?
You have to remember, this is my first spring in Milwaukee, so maybe 6 is overachieving a little bit. I don't know. I feel like we always get so excited for spring, and then it definitely snows in March and snows in April, and maybe it'll even snow in May.
Well, it does happen. We've experienced it before. It just tends to go away quicker. That's the thing. It snows in January and February. It's hanging around, and then it gets ugly, and it turns sort of black. If it snows in March and April, the ground is usually warm enough where it's going to melt, or you're going to get a rain event that kind of washes things away. So it might be kind of sloppy, but it's not just sticking around and getting all nasty. No snert.
Yes.
We just don't want snow
Unless
on
this is
Mother's
the-
Day.
Well,
Once
okay,
Mother's
yeah,
Day
so
comes around, and here's the
fine.
thing, Mother's Day in Milwaukee, it can be all over the place. It can be absolutely beautiful where, you take the family out and the young girls are in, short sleeve dresses and the guys are in shorts going out to a nice brunch. And then it can be cold as heck. And, those snowbirds who come back are like, the moms are like, why did we come back? It's all over the place. So we'll see, I guess.
Well, we don't need any
Yeah,
of that.
For me growing up, the same thing though, but with Easter. Like I remember the years when my mom would force me to put like a long sleeve shirt under my Easter dress.
Oh.
And that was just like, are you kidding me? Like, no.
It's like a coat over the costume at Halloween.
You're right.
I get
Exactly.
it. I get how you feel.
All right, good stuff, Lauren. We'll check it again tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, have a great Monday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
That sounds good. 36 degrees right now in Milwaukee. We're not too far from opening day, believe it or not. Toward the end of the month here, we are in the month of opening day. See, March, things start happening. There will be a bunch of new things happening at the ballpark. We'll walk you through it after this.
Hi, it's David Nason from The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Every Saturday morning, we talk about keeping your home in top shape. One issue I hear all the time, wet basements and foundation problems.
And that's where Accurate Basement Repair comes in. I'm Chris Mancuso, and for over 20 years, we've been The Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing.
Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Visit AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Accurate Basement Repair.
We're not just good, we're accurate. Catch Accurate Basement Repair on The Fix-It Show and WTMJ.com.
Hey, while we're talking about basements, what about finishing at that lower level like we did? Make that call to Matrix Basement Finishing. They will do for you what they did for us, and that is completely transform our lower level. It used to just be the basement, right? A treadmill in the corner, maybe an area for the kids to ride their bikes around a little bit, store some extra paper towel and kitchen necessities. Not any longer. It is the place to be in our house. We've got a wonderful setup thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. Dedicated workout room. That is getting a lot of attention, especially as we pivot out of the winter months. We're enjoying it every night. Family nights, playing games, watching movies, watching the game. Friends over for holiday gatherings, you name it, we're using it, thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. Special pricing for you and no payments until 2028. If you've been thinking about that lower level redo, check out Matrix Basement Finishing. They will come to your place. They will do a walkthrough. They will sketch out what it could look like. They'll build a pricing model for you. You'll work together on the final design, and you'll make those finished selections from your kitchen table. They only do basements, and they do it expertly. Wonderful people. Check out Matrix Basement Finishing. If you'd like me to personally connect you with the folks at Matrix, I'd be happy to do that as well. Shoot me an email, check out my pictures on social media, and let's get that lower level taken care of with Matrix Basement Finishing.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Fredert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit fredert.com/cancer.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SOUND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hot off the press here, if you're headed to the ballpark at any point, really throughout the year, but especially opening day, move food. They always do this. Right? They always bring out some new food items, new concession items.
Food.
Now, sadly,
Gets
we don't
people
have.
Excited.
It does. Sadly, we don't have any in our studio to taste. But perhaps someday, before too long, before opening day, maybe even on opening day, throughout our coverage, they've got some fair favorites. The backyard barbecue, according to the press release, some new flavors at American Family Field. Anything catching your attention?
Okay, well, here's the thing about this. Some of this, it's like fair style favorites. You have deep fried Kringle. I don't feel like you need deep fried Kringle, but it does look good. I have to admit, it looks yummy. How about you?
Well, I like that this whole 3rd Street Market Hall annex is expanding.
Yes,
so the 3rd Street
love
Market
local.
annex is very much akin to what we have here at our 3rd Street Market Hall, where our studios are located. Not all of the vendors that are here in the Market Hall have a presence at the ballpark, but a couple of do.
It's like the sister spot of the Market Hall.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. And there's a new burger joint here in the Market Hall called Babysito, and it's going to be at the ballpark as well. I don't know if they're going to have the coffee that they have here. So, Gina, you may have to get your coffee ahead of time. But nonetheless, really good burger place here in the Market Hall. You'll see it at American Family Field.
I have to say, I think it would be a smart thing if there was at least iced coffee. I said that last season for the Bucks games. I said the one thing I feel like they're missing is iced coffee. Because maybe you don't want to have a drink, but you don't want a soda, and you don't want the lemonade. You don't want to spend $8 on a water. How about an iced coffee? I feel like that's a spot that's missing. So I feel like if you could get that at the Brewers, I think that'd be a good option too. You know what they do have? And I see the sign all the time. I still haven't tried one yet, but they're very popular. The dirty sodas. They've got the dirty sodas here, and they're going to have them at AmFam Field coming up.
Is it still going to be a thing by the time the season starts? Or are we in the midst of a fad? Maybe it's a one-year thing.
I mean, they have a sign. They're going to have to break down, pull off the sign if it's no longer a thing.
So what exactly is a dirty soda now? What do they do to this thing? Well, why did they make it dirty?
Here's the thing. See, I just told you I've never tried one.
Okay.
No, it's like, isn't it? You put, it's like, say you got a Diet Coke and then you put some cream in it. Is that right? Gina, have you had a dirty soda?
This seems like something right up Gina's alley. I think my wife actually makes these for our kids at home. Gina,
really?
What's a dirty soda?
I have tried one here.
Okay, what was in it? How did they do it? Was it like an orange
supposed to be some
soda?
sort of cream and soda, like almost like a coffee creamer?
Yeah.
But the soda just overpowered it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, if
Easy
they're going
enough.
to try it.
It's like the
they're gonna try it.
housewives. Which housewives? One of the housewives. Not one as in one particular woman, but like one of those groups. One of the cities started it.
Okay.
Gina just told me in my ear what it was, but I've got a little bit of a cold, and so I couldn't hear it. Which group was it?
Utah?
Yeah, Utah. The
Oh,
Mormon
Feels like
Utah.
something Utah
That's
would do.
right.
They've got the sticky maple chicken sandwich and the new al pastor topped dog, which sounds great. So,
Okay, question about that one, though.
Yeah.
The sticky maple chicken sandwich, that sounds amazing. But do you get wet wipes with it?
well, that sounds like something you'd need to have.
Because it
so
sounds like you're going to eat that, and then you're going to have to go to the restroom and wash your hands.
you're going to have to wear it a little bit too. And it's sticky, right? It's 92 degrees out at the ballpark. Maybe you catch an early July game and it's smoking red hot out there. Yeah, the sticky maple sandwich might stick to you.
I think the kids are going to love this too, though. Fans can also grab self-serve candy from the candy shop. Have you gone over to the candy shop over here? I feel like we should play that candy shop song.
The whimsical candy song. Yeah, if my kids learn
cent.
of this, they're going to jump all over it.
I think the kids are going to love that, yeah. So if you don't want the kids to go for that, don't show them that one because I think they're going to have a lot of fun with that. But here's the thing. I think I love that we do this, and it's not just AmFam Field, but the Brewers are great about this. Supporting local, making sure they're highlighting local. Remember with like the beer, this was probably, I don't know, might even be 10 years ago now, but they had that spot where it was local beers, spotlighting the local beers. And I thought that was so great. We still have things like that, but when they started to do that, all of a sudden you could see that shift. And I love that we've stuck with that.
I would agree. I think Fiserv Forum and American Family Field have done an incredible job with working with local vendors, local restaurants. So you'll see Ian's Pizza, you know what I mean? You'll see Cousin Subs. You'll see Zaffiro's Pizza. You'll see local all throughout, which I think is a wonderful thing. And it does support some of the great restaurant chains here, or not even chains, just individual locations in Milwaukee.
Well, and not only is it great for us, the locals, but I think it's really fun for visitors to come as well. That's one of my favorite things to do when I go to a different city is to check out what they love and what's new and different and unique to that city. So I think it's good all around.
No Brewers game today in Arizona, where some of the flavors of Milwaukee are at that ballpark, but they will be back on the field tomorrow taking on Great Britain. Our next broadcast scheduled for Wednesday at 2 o'clock, opening day, just a few weeks away here at American Family Field. Coming up on 154 on WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and it's very much up to date. And when I say that, I mean about 2/3 of the program already podcasted for you to consume. Coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, a couple of very interesting conversations. Number one, Caitlin Morrell, our good friend, or my good friend, who lives out in Pacific Palisades, 14 months removed from being evacuated from her home because of those deadly Palisades fires. How close is she to returning to her home, which was not destroyed, it was not leveled, it's still standing, but they're just not living in it. Also, we're trying to connect with Jordana Miller, who is in Jerusalem, and it's been a very interesting last 48 hours for her, spending time in and out of bomb shelters. So a very real on-the-ground experience from Jordana. We'll try and connect with her coming up at about 2:35. Coming up on 155 here on WTMJ. News is coming up.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Scammers will impersonate anyone. They make themselves look and sound like a trusted government agency, business, charity, celebrity, or even someone you know in real life. And technology has made it even harder to know who you're really talking to. We all need to stop and verify that requests are legitimate before we act on them. Learn more at datcp.wi.gov. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
The only place to get this.
Leaves for Jericho Sims, and he works right past Dennis Schroeder for another dunk.
With some of this.
Jericho Sims has been a huge, huge part of that. Granted, we haven't seen it next to Giannis now, this version of how Jericho is playing. But what the coaching staff has done now is they have surrounded him with shooters.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
They need all the luck of the Irish. All we need is
KPJ. Kevin Porter Jr. wiggles free in the corner, hits the three and draws the foul.
the Bucks take on the Celtics at Fiserv Forum.
Porter stuffs it down with one hand and shrugs his shoulder after the fact.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6 on the home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
Coming up on 2 o'clock, I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, March 2nd. Your top story, airstrikes continue in Iran.
I'm Jessica Tighe. The fight for tariff refunds moves forward.
Clouds on the increase tonight after a pleasant high of 40 degrees, lows 30 degrees. Chance of rain on Tuesday, mostly cloudy, a high of 41. Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up. At 2 o'clock from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, U.S. and Israeli strikes continue in Iran with 4 American military personnel confirmed to have died. CBS's Courtney Keeley explains.
So you're not going to see any betrayal of intelligence of special forces doing any operations, and in particular, not any U.S. troops, according to the Pentagon. But you can guarantee that it's not just in the air, but there's a lot of intelligence and a lot of people that are very courageous in Iran that are either enduring these airstrikes, not being able to talk to their loved ones, or even possibly collaborating to make sure that they get this done.
President Trump says the campaign will likely take several weeks.
In Milwaukee over the weekend, dozens of protesters gathered at Zeidler Union Square to rally against the military strikes in Iran.
Like many of you, I woke up this morning to see the picture of the bloody backpacks that were found outside of the school that the U.S. and Israel bombed. Hands up!
Iran!
Hands up!
Iran!
Groups like the Milwaukee Anti-War Committee called the attacks an effort to destabilize the region. They say the act of war is a deliberate distraction from other issues like the Epstein files.
A federal appeals court rejects the Trump administration's attempt to delay the fight over tariff refunds.
After the Supreme Court's landmark ruling last month, the group of small businesses that led the case argued that a lower court should be able to immediately consider a process to issue refunds. The Trump administration pushed back, though, asking for a 3-month delay to let the political process play out. But a federal appeals court on Monday rejected their request, allowing the fight over tariff refunds to begin at the New York-based Court of International Trade. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
A man is fighting for his life this afternoon after a double shooting inside a hospital in downtown Milwaukee.
An early morning shooting inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center near 12th and State leaves one man fighting for his life. Police were called around 2:15 a.m. Monday. A 40-year-old victim is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. A second man, 38, is expected to survive. A 37-year-old suspect is in custody, and investigators say there is no active danger to the public. Aurora Healthcare says it partnered with police in response to the incident and confirms the medical center remains open. At Aurora Sinai Medical Center, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Another case of bird flu confirmed, this time in Dane County. The highly contagious disease found in a backyard poultry flock. The birds are being depopulated to prevent spreading the disease. This is the second confirmed case of the disease in a week. There was a commercial poultry flock impacted in Jefferson County a week ago. Exposure risks are low for the general public. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow has bounced all the way back here, now 12 points in the green at 48,990. And NASDAQ is up a little over 100 points at 22,775, and the S&P is up about 15 at 6894. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Can the Milwaukee Bucks bounce back from that brutal performance against the Bulls? Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:03.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Well, we are inching up on our date here. March 7th, it's Bowling for Babies in Menominee Falls. Village Bowl, that's where you got to be on Saturday, March 7th, as we raise money for the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. And I just got an updated total here. 18 foursomes are set to go. We'd love to get that up to 21. Join us, will you? Get that team of 4 together and join us at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls, March 7th. Some of your favorite WTMJ personalities will be there hanging out as we raise money for the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. If you want in, text the word BABY to WTMJ's talk and text line 855-616-1620. You don't have to be a great bowler. You just have to be a good person who wants to support a great cause. How about that? Join us on Saturday, March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. Bowling for Babies. Send BABY to 855-616-1620. We'll get you all the information sent back to your mobile device.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. World Baseball Classic begins this week. The Brewers have 9 players participating. Infielder Joey Ortiz will suit up for Team Mexico.
Getting involved in these games, these WBC games early, are going to get me kind of ready to go for the season. That was also another big reason why I wanted to do it. More like playoff type atmosphere, so it's going to be pretty cool.
No Cactus League game for the Brewers today. Jacob Mizorowski scheduled to pitch Tuesday against Great Britain. The Bucks look to bounce back tonight from a dismal performance Sunday against the Bulls. They could have Giannis back. He's listed as questionable on the team's injury report. Giannis has missed the last 5 weeks with a calf strain. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We are still dealing with slowdowns because of a crash on 4194 South, about a mile and a half beyond Layton Avenue. The outer lanes were blocked. Last time I checked, we had 2 semis that were off to the side. We had emergency responders, a fire truck as well. The good news is those semis are out of there now. I do see what looks to be an emergency responder off to the side, possibly one other car as well. It's hard to tell with the big overhead signs that are kind of blocking it. But the bottom line is it looks like this crash is being cleared. At least part of it is already cleared. We are still seeing slowdowns, though, so heads up if you're traveling in that area. That's 4194 South, a mile and a half beyond Layton Avenue.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lauren Larson with your 5-day storm team forecast. We'll see cloudy skies tonight as our temperatures stay in the low 30s. Waking up to some light rain showers on Tuesday, though, and those won't last forever, but cloudy skies stick around all day as your temperatures make it into the low 40s. Now, Wednesday, we'll see less rain and some warmer temperatures, making it to the mid to upper 40s. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are likely to be wet across southeast Wisconsin, expecting widespread rain. Again, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but our temperatures will be in the upper 50s, maybe touching 60 degrees as we're headed into the weekend. Live interactive radar available at TMJ4.com. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Lauren Larson.
36 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 2:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Did my taxes over the weekend, or our taxes, I should say. Yeah, very happy with that. Very. It's a sense of accomplishment every time you get it done.
What, did you do it on Saturday as the snow was falling so you could look outside and see the beauty that was coming down?
I did. My daughters had some activities in the morning and early portion of the afternoon, and by about 2 o'clock, we were home. Snow was falling, and didn't really feel like going back outside at that point. So, yeah, hunkered down. It took about an hour and a half, and maybe close to 2 hours, but nonetheless, got it done. Happy about that.
Yeah, check that box. Tax is done.
It's a good one to check. It's 2:09 here on WTMJ.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1. In his first public remarks on the war in Iran, today President Trump confirmed major combat operations will continue for the foreseeable future. The president says they're going to deal with the imminent threat the country holds against the U.S. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is in Tel Aviv right now. He reports on the probable impact of these strikes.
There are real difficulties on the ground. There are more people being drawn in. Oil prices have spiked. Natural gas prices have spiked. And this will start to hit people in their pockets. But here in the region, I think there's a real sense of concern about how rapidly this is escalating, where it ends, and no clear sense of mission objectives, how you measure success and how you get out of it and bring about peace.
And I just keep thinking about the 4 American service members who have been killed already, and the president says we can expect for there to be more. Keep thinking about their families, of course. We do not know the names of those military members yet. That's typically what they do is, it's a process. The family will be notified, and then typically we will find out after that. But I just keep thinking about those families. And, of course, if they haven't been notified yet, I imagine some of them already have, but you've got them just waiting for their loved ones to, if they can, call. You have families right now who haven't heard from their loved ones, and they're wondering if their loved one is among the dead. It was an interesting talk from the president, because over the weekend he had these taped messages, and you had the one where it was, in the middle of the night, and he had the white hat on that said USA, and he posted those messages to social media. But this was the first time today, happened a little bit before noon, the first time today that he spoke live, the first time since this war, as it is now being called, started. And he talked about the lives that were killed. He talked about why they decided that they needed to strike and the goals moving forward. And then it just kind of veered off into a casual conversation about the ballroom that's being built at the White House. And he was calling it the most beautiful ballroom in the entire world. And he was talking about, I guess it lightened the mood a little bit. It was a little weird for me. I thought it seemed a little awkward to all of a sudden go into that. And actually, I asked CBS's Stacey Lynn about that during our last hour. And she was in the room, and she said, yeah, it was awkward. I don't know if that was a move on his part to kind of lighten things up, because they were about to recognize 3 American heroes, 1 who is living, 2 who have since passed. So I don't know if that was a move on his part or if it was just, the president being the president as he is. But it was certainly interesting. He started talking about how Melania hears all the construction noise and she's not happy about it. And that kind of got a little bit of a chuckle, but it was certainly an interesting way to kind of move things in a different direction. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of questions right now, and you have oil prices that have spiked, natural gas prices that have spiked. The markets are reacting, and we'll see what happens at the closing bell here in a couple hours.
Yeah, those markets, kind of interesting. So, I don't know, about, when did I do the markets here? About 10 minutes ago, roughly. And the Dow was, 30 points in the green. It's now nearly 200 points in the red in a matter of minutes. And it's been kind of like this throughout the day. The futures came in and it was down about 500 points, and that's not a big shock here. Then it started to fight back, and they lost a little bit. Then it really fought back, and now it's losing again. So as we get closer to the closing bell, the Dow is currently off about 170 points. Oil, by the way, is surging.
The cost of oil, we're looking at about 11% higher in U.S. trading at more than $72 a barrel. So clearly there is an impact that we're seeing right away. We're also hearing about oil refineries that are just halting production right now in the region because they're afraid of attacks. We know that Iranian drones were trying to attack a Saudi oil refinery, and we know that another refinery has said, you know what, we're just going to halt production.
That's ABC's Gio Benitez. So keep an eye on gas prices here. Gas Buddy is reporting an anticipated increase of about 25 cents per gallon over the next 2 to 3 weeks. The president indicated this could last a month, maybe 5 weeks in Iran. But really, this has been going on for decades in Iran, right? You might have in a time where it sort of calms down, but this has been ongoing tension for a long period of time. The Wall Street fear gauge, called the VIX, jumped 18%. And gold, by the way, is trading higher than it ever has at $5,400 an ounce.
People are going to be running to Costco to fill up their gas tanks and to get that gold bar.
Or silver. Yeah, you take your pick of the precious
true. Okay,
metals.
silver too. Do they have silver bars at Costco?
Sometimes it's one or the other. I've rarely seen both, where it's gold and silver. But just check it out, along with the new patio furniture that they have out there. It's 2:14 on WTMJ. We go to California on the other end, where Wisconsin native Caitlin Morale and her family remain displaced from their Pacific Palisades home 14 months after evacuating. The home is still standing. They're still not in it. We'll walk through the latest with her after this.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on Bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Greg Matzek here. Do not let that busted garage door get you down. Make a call to Geis. They've got incredible service, wonderful people, and great brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock and ready to go. Doors for every budget. They can go custom for you as well. Whatever your needs are, connect with Geis for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Start the process at geisdoors.com. You can also visit their showroom. I've done that. It's in Brookfield. And you'll see hundreds of doors and openers and their incredible custom design room all on display. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit geisdoors.com.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox & Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Well, the sun is out. It'll stay that way. High of 40 degrees, overnight low 30. Tomorrow's high 41 under partly cloudy skies. Rain picks up here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's in the forecast each one of those days with temperatures warming up a little bit. 45 the high on Wednesday, 48 on Thursday, 58 on Friday. It's 37 and sunny in Milwaukee at 217. Well, over the last year, we have checked in with our good friend Caitlin Morale. She is a Wisconsin native, Burlington native, living in Pacific Palisades. She's been out there with her family for a number of years.
I think we need to start paying her at this point.
She's an unofficial correspondent of the Pacific Palisades. And the reason we've checked in with Caitlin, who has described these check-ins as therapeutic with me, we're helping her through a tough situation, perhaps. I'm glad to do that for my good friend. But also, it's bringing to light just some of the challenges that people continue to face in a beautiful area of California, devastated by wildfires. 14 months later, Caitlin and her family remain displaced from their home, which is still standing, by the way. Caitlin joins us on the line. Hi, Caitlin. We have ticked off another month here. How are things?
We have. Things are coming along. We do have some progress. I think actually last time we talked might have been the anniversary of the fire. And I know that day I found out my claims adjuster with State Farm had gone on leave for like a month. So we did have someone cover for him for a number of weeks. The person who covered for him actually got a lot more movement for us than anybody else has. So that was some positive movement. And now we just finished the toxin remediation of our home, I believe, yesterday.
Well, that's some good news. We love to hear that. And you're right, it was a year ago. So now here we are, 14 months later. When people hear 14 months later, they often assume some closure. So how close or far away does that feel for you, closure on this?
I think right now myself, my husband, our son, we're so deep in the minutia of like trying to get the punch list together, what needs to be done next, what's happening next month, next week, that sometimes we lose sight of what else is going on. I know some of the big things that came out recently where there was a Los Angeles firefighter who gave testimony that they saw smoldering ashes and things like that in the days leading up to the fire from the initial fire that had sparked on New Year's Day. And I know some of my neighbors, especially those who have moved back or those who haven't started remediation yet, kind of hit another wave of grief about that. I think some of those things haven't necessarily hit me the same way because we are so deep in the fight with insurance, so deep in trying to get things done because we really want to move home, but really still a lot of moving parts. It's wild to me how still in the thick of this we all are this far out.
You know, I don't think we've ever asked you about that. If your story is a common story with the folks who live in your immediate area. And I remember early on you said, thankfully, our house is still standing, and so many others in your area were. But are others going through the same thing you are? Still displaced, still can't get answers, still battling through insurance adjusters?
Yes, 100%. We actually are a little bit ahead of some people. It kind of depends on what your insurance company is. Depends on the damages you have. There are some people who still have contents in their homes. Their homes still look like they looked on January 7th of 2025. We're not in that case, obviously. I think my street has roughly 21, 22 homes on it. I think 5 people are living back in their homes already. The majority of them were insured by California Fair Plan, which is kind of the insurance of last resort when nobody else will insure you. And many of them had to pay out of pocket and then submit receipts for reimbursement on the back end of the process. So a lot of people that you see living there footed their own bills for a few things. We still were insured by State Farm. So we kind of go through the process of getting approval for everything. I think last time we spoke, my aim was to be back in April, and State Farm had delayed us so much over the holidays that we came to the conclusion our crew had a delay of 53 days. So now our aim is to move back in June.
June, wow. Caitlin, do you feel like your life is on hold in a way, or are you building something new alongside all this uncertainty and all this? Okay, we thought it was going to be this month, but now it's going to be a few more months.
It's a little bit of both. There's things that are on hold because we live in a furnished rental, so I haven't even begun to buy new furniture yet. We had to discard the majority of our furniture because of the toxins that infiltrated our home. So I'm still sleeping on somebody else's bed. I'm still, in some cases, wearing donated clothes or clothes that I've purchased since the fire. You can't access a lot of my belongings still, so it's kind of like you're in limbo where you have all these things that you can't replace yet. You do have belongings that you can't access because they're in storage after being cleaned, but you're also living life every day. You know, I have a 12-year-old son, so I'm still taking him to practices. I'm still taking him to school every day, and fortunately, he's still at the same school that he was last year. One thing I think that will feel a little more close to home, he plays lacrosse, and he has a fantastic recreational lacrosse team. He plays for the Palisades Breakers, and his coach was able to move their spring practices starting next week back to our home field in the Palisades.
So a sign of normalcy, which is a good thing. Caitlin, what has this entire process taught you? Just about everything, right? How to manage situations and deal with life's challenges, ones that you can't often predict.
You always think you're prepared until you're not prepared. I always kept an evacuation bag at our home. We live in the Palisades Highlands, which is pretty much the fire ground zero. The fire started 3 blocks from our house. We are a very high fire zone area. There's one road in, one road out. So I always kept an evacuation bag. I kept a list of things to grab on the way out. And once we actually had to grab those things and we actually couldn't go back, I didn't realize how unprepared I was. I didn't realize how much knowledge there was to have about insurance claims. I often joke that I have a whole new career skill set after this because I've gained knowledge I didn't know I'd ever need. So I think it's really important to know, when you're in a disaster, know your rights as a policyholder and know what is available to you, because there's a lot of things, I feel for the people who don't have the time to sit and get information about what they can do and can't do, or who have to hire somebody to do it for them because they're busy, or they just don't have, the resources to do so on their own. It's amazing to me how much knowledge I needed to navigate this, and still I'm not getting. I think we've only gotten about 1/3 of the things that are needing repair approved at this point.
Okay, Caitlin, when Greg calls you in 2 months and says, I need an update, where do you think you will realistically be, and where do you hope you'll be?
So 2 months, so that's May. I'm hopeful that we will be in the final stretch. I'm hopeful. There's still some big things that we need to get approved, some things that are still pending that I'm hopeful we will have gotten at that point. Realistically, I think we will be in a scramble because we will be about 1 month out of having to move back. And I think that deadline is probably, unless State Farm does some major delay with us again, I think that's probably the hard cutoff that we can reasonably extend. I have a feeling it will be a mad scramble. There will be a lot of furniture that is on back order. There will be a lot of punch list items that might potentially be getting done when we move back in.
Well, and potentially also you'd be able to sleep in your own bed, in your own home, wear your own clothes, and enjoy the summer after school lets out the way that you hoped and intended to. A summer you didn't get to have quite the same way last summer. Hopefully that's on tap for you this summer, Caitlin.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Well, we appreciate checking in. Thank you so much for the time, and stay with it. We'll keep checking in. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Caitlin. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. It's 2:26 here on WTMJ. 14 months removed. Unbelievable. News coming up.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Horicon Bank is celebrating its 130th year of doing banking the right way in the state of Wisconsin. 130 years. Greg Matzek here. My friends at Horicon Bank have been doing banking differently since 1896. My goodness. Financing requests with Horicon can be approved in days, not weeks. Your banker understands you and your business at Horicon Bank, where service and products go hand in hand. And they are celebrating all year long, 130 years of doing banking differently. Together doing good. That's the vision. That's the motto. They're committed to doing what it takes to help get that business of yours moving and meeting its cash flow needs. Horicon Bank is truly the natural choice, and member FDIC.
We know for small business advertisers, every dollar counts. And that's why you hear our advertisers over and over on this station, as well as every other Milwaukee radio station, because the power of repetition is real. Go to the Our Clients page of Anderson-Smith.com and see just how many you're familiar with. And check out their real advertising success stories. You'll learn why our clients stay with us for years and years. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. We know you work hard to make your small business the best it can be. And we understand you deserve to have your advertising work as hard as you do. That's why we focus on only the most efficient ways to assure your ad message makes the most impact it possibly can. With millions of dollars in annual billing and dozens of satisfied clients, Anderson Smith has the leverage and know-how to amplify your advertising. Go to Anderson-Smith.com, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grow your business.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like. And you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text floor to 855-616-1620 and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
Hey beauties, you're invited to swing by your local Merle Norman for a fabulous eye-catching gift with purchase that's sure to make you sparkle. What's inside this gift? Only the essentials for eye perfection. Trial sizes of Brilliancy Eye Cream, eyeshadow primer, a soft touch eyeshadow duo, and soft touch eye pencil. Hurry, these goodies are only good while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics Salon and Spa at Brookfield Square. Free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last at participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios only. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to modify the gift if needed. Promotion not available at merlenorman.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free, no obligation consultation today.
The Mine Chef's Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat haddock Lenten fish fry is just $8.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu Sunday through Thursday. Google, call, and reserve your $8.99 fish fry. It's the Mine Chef.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, March 2nd. Your top story. Could military action bring change to Iran?
I'm Jessica Tighe. Train service in southeastern Wisconsin keeps moving forward.
Increasing clouds tonight, low of 30 degrees. Chance of rain on Tuesday, then mostly cloudy, a high of 41.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. The conflict between the U.S., Israel, and Iran widening across the entire Middle East. The State Department issuing a security alert moments ago, saying out of an abundance of caution, all personnel at the U.S. Embassy compound in Jordan have temporarily departed due to an unnamed threat. CENTCOM confirming the deaths of 4 U.S. service members in Kuwait and say today 18 U.S. service members were also seriously injured in ongoing operations. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Amman, Jordan, with a viewpoint.
And what we see up here are missiles flying in the westerly direction headed toward Israel. We've seen interceptors going up and exploding, some of them on their way. We've seen Jordanian fighter jets circling the city here all day long, hearing them, seeing them both. So what we're seeing here in Jordan really is a microcosm of what we're seeing across all those countries.
President Trump earlier today says the U.S. operations could last up to 4 or 5 more weeks or even longer. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 2:31. After calls for change in Iran, one expert says outside pressure rarely leads to lasting democracy. Marquette professor Inyana Othman tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News.
Political transformation rarely comes from bombing campaigns. External military pressure frequently strengthens hardline elements. The point that I'm making here that external military intervention rarely produces stable democratic transformation on its own.
Oatman says long-term change typically comes within a country without outside pressure.
Investors are worried a spike in oil prices amid the war in the Middle East could make inflation even worse. Annex Wealth Management CEO Dave Spano.
Lower oil prices have gone into the argument of lower inflation. And so that if you look at how inflation is comprised, one of the core numbers that goes into there is energy, and it's a significant number.
As for U.S. stocks, he says the market typically holds steady after military conflicts.
The MARC Rail Commission is gaining a new member and new momentum.
The MARC Rail study is an early step toward restoring passenger rail service along the former Lakeshore Rail corridor between Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha. At Monday's meeting, the board unanimously welcomes the city of Cudahy, citing its proximity to Milwaukee-Mitchell International Airport as a key asset for a future passenger rail stop. Consultants said existing travel demand along the corridor could support more than 8,000 daily riders under a proposed service model with up to 16 round trips per day. The board is expected to meet again in late June. Nasir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A popular bar and restaurant in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward is back open today following the discovery of cockroaches in the basement. The Wicked Hop reopened this morning following a full treatment and deep cleaning over the weekend. The owners say they've also taken additional preventative measures. The Wicked Hop closed on Thursday after inspectors discovered live roaches in the kitchen area.
Well, it's going to be a busy week on I-94 with multiple overnight closures tied to bridge demolition and pavement repairs.
As crews continue the bridge removal on the east leg of I-94, the DOT's Eric Hansen says,
The concrete deck over the freeway is completely removed, and over the next few nights we're working to remove those steel girders that remain out there.
More work continues later in the week.
We do have a lot of repair work that we're going to do to maintain that existing freeway, and that'll happen Thursday and Friday night.
All closures are scheduled for overnight before reopening for the morning commute. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
The highly anticipated return of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 2:34.
Stop in for savings this week at Fleet Farm that'll help put winter in your rear view. Get a free $25 gift card with the purchase of $100 in Columbia, Dickies, Under Armour, or Wrangler clothing. Fire up the flavor with Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets for just $8.99 a bag. And buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper or Goodyear tires with our complete installation package and Resolute Road Hazard policy. Don't miss these limited time deals, only at Fleet Farm. And for even more, go to fleetfarm.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Sewer Ninjas and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks, after a dismal performance against the Bulls Sunday, look to bounce back tonight, taking on the Celtics at Fiserv Forum.
When you approach the game and play like that, you don't deserve to win. If we had won the game, I'd have been upset. Taking the win because we need it. But that is not how you play basketball.
Doc Rivers' Bucks outscored 33-8 in the fourth quarter of Sunday's loss in Chicago. Some good news here. Giannis could make his return from a calf strain tonight. He's missed the past 5 weeks, listed as questionable on the team's injury report. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6 p.m. College basketball Horizon League tournament begins this week. Green Bay, the 5 seed, they'll take on Purdue Fort Wayne Tuesday night. Milwaukee Panthers are the number 8 seed. They'll take on Detroit Mercy Wednesday night in Michigan. And no game for the Brewers. Jacob Mizorowski scheduled to make his spring debut Tuesday against Great Britain.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. Ooh, I love that. Right as Greg was telling you the sports, I saw a crash. And right now, it was just cleared. So fantastic news there. Number 1, that crash wasn't bad. Number 2, it is cleared and you don't have to worry about it. We do have one other crash, though, in Milwaukee County. It's a crash on the exit to Capitol Drive from 4145 South. That is always a busy spot. I will tell you the good news in that one is I'm not seeing delays yet. So hopefully it stays that way, but that could easily change. A crash, a new one, popped up, less than 10 minutes ago now. A crash on the exit to Capitol Drive from 4145 South. And I just wanted to give a shout out to one of our fans from the 414 because he saw a crash today, called 911 to report it. In fact, he wrote in to say the crash on southbound 9441 that happened. This was, during our 1 o'clock hour. He said it was a reckless driver in a Honda Civic who rear-ended a minivan, which rolled onto its roof on the shoulder. So it looked nasty. I could also see semis over there. He says the semi-truck driver stopped to help. So good news there. He had somebody stop to help. They weren't involved in the crash, though. But this fan from the 414 called 911 to report it and describe what happened. There did not appear to be serious injuries, the fan from the 414 says. So thanks so much for writing in. We appreciate seeing what you saw. And thanks so much for calling 911 to report it, too.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lauren Larson with your 5-day storm team forecast. We'll see cloudy skies tonight as our temperatures stay in the low 30s. Waking up to some light rain showers on Tuesday, though, and those won't last forever, but cloudy skies stick around all day as your temperatures make it into the low 40s. Now, Wednesday, we'll see less rain and some warmer temperatures, making it to the mid to upper 40s. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are likely to be wet across southeast Wisconsin, expecting widespread rain. Again, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but our temperatures will be in the upper 50s, maybe touching 60 degrees as we're headed into the weekend. Live interactive radar available at TMJ4.com. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Lauren Larson.
36 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 2:39. Frank and Jessica with you here. It's Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. So usually around 4 o'clock or so on Sunday, we'll get a notice from our friends and resources at ABC about people they'll have in the field who you can talk to about a variety of different topics. And you've heard many times on this program the likes of Jim Ryan and Peter Haralambous and so on.
Mike Dubusky for Tech Tuesday.
Of course, we'll chat with him tomorrow. Jordana Miller has been overseas in Jerusalem for the better part of 2 years. And she'd been over there doing daily hits and reporting on the situation in the Middle East. And this is the first time I have ever seen this on the news email from ABC. This comes right to our inbox. Jessica, you and I read the same thing. Regarding Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem, it says, please note, Jerusalem has been subject to air raid warnings since the attack, while Jordana and her family have spent much of the weekend in a bomb shelter. While things are calm and present, she may have to return to the shelter at any time. We will do our best to let you know if this will affect her availability. In other words, she is available as a correspondent to talk with us or any other radio station about things happening in Jerusalem. But by the way, because of these air raid warnings, she's got to hang out with her family in a bomb shelter. If that doesn't put into perspective what is happening over there and just the amount of fear and uncertainty, I don't know what does. I did not know her family was there either. She does have a young family. At some point along the way, they joined her out there, and they are with her right now, and they are doing their best to stay safe.
I know, and when I read that too, I thought, oh my goodness, of course you were doing your best, and of course we understand without a doubt. But I mean, that also just puts into perspective too. I think a lot of times people forget about some of these reporters who are out there as well. I mean, this morning, Iranian missiles could be seen over Jerusalem as Israel's Iron Dome intercepted them. People there in Jerusalem, where she is, were told to take shelter 3 times this morning. But things apparently then calmed down. But you never know. You never know when you hear the siren next. And then I was watching some reports over the weekend. The reporter was asking, okay, so if people hear the siren now, they just have to go run to take cover. And the person he was interviewing said, but the problem here, and actually it was an emergency responder who he was interviewing, and that emergency responder said the problem here is there is no place to take cover.
Sure.
Because the buildings had already been bombed. It was just destruction everywhere. It was rubble. And there was nowhere to go. And that emergency responder said that's something that we have to deal with too. I mean, they're trying to go in and rescue people, but at the same time, they're going in to rescue people. And if they hear that siren go off, in some cases, not all, But in some cases, there is nowhere to go and take cover.
About a dozen countries in the Middle East are left in limbo as Iran's retaliatory strikes continue in that region.
You're listening to what the president said earlier today. He's talking weeks, if not months, as long as it takes is what he said. You've got the Iranians on their side saying that they're preparing for a long war against the United States. And so if you're the leadership of Saudi Arabia, of the United Arab Emirates, of Bahrain, of Qatar, of Jordan, you're hunkering down right now, expecting that this conflict is going to go on for a long time.
That's ABC's Matt Rivers. So we were supposed to connect with Jordana here, and your cell phone coverage has been a little spotty. We tried to work a Zoom link. I just hope that she is safe. It's about 10:43 right now in Jerusalem. They're 8 hours ahead of us. I don't know if that matters, though, right? I mean, it's the evening hours. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing when it comes to matters at hand right now. Overseas right now. Looks like we are now connecting with Jordana Miller from ABC. She's joining us here on the line right now from Jerusalem. Jordana, thank you for joining us. Can you update us on your situation and your family's situation? Are you safe?
We are safe. We've been in and out of our bomb shelter, ever since Saturday morning. And it's a very tense situation, very anxiety producing, especially for my two young children. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. The 3-year-old doesn't really know what's happening, but my 5-year-old's pretty scared because, the sirens wail and they're pretty unnerving. And we go to a bomb shelter right across the street because it's better fortified than my safe room in my house. It's underground and it's larger, and even when we get down there, you can still hear the booms of the interceptions, and they're pretty loud, and it's not a lot of fun. On the upside, in a strange way, we've become accustomed to being in the bomb shelter because we're coming out of 2 years of war, and our neighbors are in the bomb shelter with us, and that includes grandfathers and couples and children. And so I know it sounds strange, but it gets nice. There's a communal sense in there, and that makes it easier to deal with once we're actually down there. And now during this, we're only on day 3, but we've had to stay in the shelters, for an hour at a time.
It's possible we may have just lost her, but I can't imagine. The humanity of it. She talks about having a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. The 3-year-old too young to understand what's going on, but I was going to ask her, how do you even attempt to explain what's going on to a 5-year-old?
So it was about 2 years ago, Jordana started her mission in Jerusalem, and Thanksgiving was coming across, and we were talking to her on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, and I just said sort of a candid moment here. How are you doing? You're the mother of 2 young children. You've been away from your family for several months, and that was very hard on her. So people wondering, what in the world? Why are a 5 and a 3-year-old with mom in that sort of setting? Well, imagine mom without her 5 and 3-year-old for 2 years of their lives, right? So at that point, one was maybe around 1 year old, the other one was 3. So what's the right answer there? I think it's a very interesting situation that she describes as communal in the bomb shelter. It's okay. Like it's viewed as a safe place to be in an area that is ripe with uncertainty right now.
And remember, the U.S.-Israel joint strikes on Iran started early Saturday. 4 American service members have been killed in action. The U.S. is calling this Operation Epic Fury. And we have some people who are chiming in right now. One says, one of our fans from the Foreign Forces, Jordana, as a listener and an American, I am so sorry for you that all this is being done to hide the Epstein files. That is the view of some people out there. Some people are talking about that. Others are saying, come on, don't act like Israel didn't attack Iran. What did they expect? So we're hearing from all of the sides right now. And the bottom line is, no matter what side you're on, we're now at war. This is day 3. Today, the president, for the first time, talked about what's happening with Operation Epic Fury. Over the weekend, many of you might have seen some of the videos he posted on social media, but today was the first time he made his public comments and basically laid out his goals, and they include destroying Iran's missile program, Navy, and the ability to develop nuclear weapons.
It's 2:47 here on WTMJ. I also sent a text message to Steve Scafidi a little earlier today. He's doing okay. So he's with listeners right now in Cairo, Egypt. And Egypt is relatively low on the U.S. travel advisory list. They got that do not travel list, and they're a 2 right now, which is safe. It's okay. But there are portions of the country of Egypt that are a 4, where it's dangerous. And I know as part of that trip Steve is on, they had some excursions that you could have branched from the group and gone to Jerusalem or Jordan. Well, those have been canceled. It is kind of interesting. So Egypt is in the country of Africa, but it's the only country that bridges the Middle East. You can get to the Middle East from Africa through Egypt, and that is about it. As Jordana appears to be back on the line with us right now. Jordana, we kind of anticipated some connection issues, but we understand what you're dealing with out there. I'm wondering if you can go back and describe the family dynamic, because I remember speaking with you. God, it must have been 20 months ago, asking how are you doing. I knew you were a young mother. Your family was at home. So for people wondering, well, wait a minute, why are a 5 and a 3-year-old with mom on our assignment in Jerusalem? I'm wondering if you could explain that situation and that dynamic for us.
Well, when we're in this kind of state of war, right, all the schools are closed. I mean, there's nowhere, the only thing that's allowed to be open now are kind of essential industries like food and pharmacies. And so my children, who would normally be, in preschool, are home with me and the nanny. And, they are terrified when those sirens go off. And we have to go, running across the street to really the better or the best kind of bomb shelter, near us. I do have a safe room in my house, but this one across the street is underground and better fortified. So that's where we're going. And I was saying that it's
Yeah, and that kind of describes the situation right there as
exactly.
We lost Jordana again. We'll try and connect with her at a later date. She's been over there for 2 years doing this work.
Yeah, I would love to hear from her as well. I was going to ask her about just how the Iron Dome exactly works and what she sees, because that's just another fascinating part about this. I mean, you can actually see the missiles intercepting, and the bottom line is you've got two different sides here without a doubt, but you have a war, and we're now in day 3, and there are American casualties, and President Trump says there are likely to be more.
2:50 on WTMJ. We'll wrap up the program with some final thoughts after this.
Ben Bruss here from ESPN Milwaukee, and I just want to officially declare I will be dominating bowling for babies.
Ben, it's charity bowling. You don't get a championship ring.
There are lanes, there are competitors, and there's going to be greatness.
Okay, but more importantly, WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies is going to benefit the Milwaukee Diaper Mission.
So while I'm throwing strikes,
you're helping local families get essential baby supplies.
But we are also competing for 4 tickets to a Green Bay game and a VIP tailgating experience.
Sign up today at WTMJ.com/cares.
Yeah, we hope to see you out there bowling for a great cause on Saturday, March the 7th. You can sign up. Text the word baby to 855-616-1620. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. If you're looking to make it easy and delicious for dinner tonight, or really any night, stop by the store and pick up a Palermo's, or 2 or 3. There's a slice for every appetite. And right now, you can save big time on your Palermo's favorites. All sorts of great deals. In fact, a new deal begins March 4th and runs through March 10th, $4.99 at Piggly Wiggly. You can pick up Screamin' Sicilian original pizzas. That is a screamin' deal on my favorite, personal favorite. It's Screamin' Sicilian made by Palermo's. $4.99 March 4th through the 10th at Piggly Wiggly stores. Wherever you like to shop, you will find Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
40 degrees your high today. Sun is still shining. Temperatures will dip down to around 30 overnight. 41 and rain possible on Tuesday. 44 and rain possible on Wednesday. It's currently 36 degrees and sunny.
A revelation from a Grammy winner who's coming to Summerfest this year. Here's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Jelly Roll is letting out a secret. He says the 4 Grammy Awards he won a month ago hurt.
I was out there running around all the Grammys with a broken collarbone. Every time I hugged somebody that week, I wanted to scream. I just didn't say it. But every time somebody squeezed me, dude, I thought I was going to cry.
He says he flipped his ATV just before the awards show February 1st and broke his collarbone. In his Instagram video, he takes full responsibility.
Sometimes the machine can do more than the user thinks it can. This was all user error.
He says it won't stop him from riding again.
Moral of the story, get back on that pony, baby.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Get back on that pony, baby. Man, that could have been really bad, though, flipping an ATV.
Didn't he have a song called Beautifully Broken? It's taking it quite literally now, isn't he?
I guess. By the way, Jelly Roll is headlining the final day of Summerfest, which is Saturday, July 4th. He's got a special guest, Tyler Hubbard, as well. But that's going to be a big one.
No doubt. Eric Clapton also announcing that he'll play in Milwaukee in September 13th. That is cool. Part of a 6-stop tour for Eric Clapton. Guitar great, showing up at Fiserv Forum. 2:55 on WTMJ. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. If you missed any bit of our show, check it out. Subscribe to our podcast. It's available for you wherever you get your podcasts. We are stepping aside. Wisconsin's afternoon news begins in minutes here on WTMJ.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the